Hey, everybody out there in the world except for Finland, because we have decided we hate you guys. Welcome to Enter Tournament of Champions podcast. We are finally back to doing a tournament episode this week. Woo! Cool. 2009 movies is the subject this week. I am Jeff. I'm joined by not Colorado Kyle, because he asked me not to call him that.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
It's very typical of not Colorado Kyle to...
That was not Kyle talking. That was Doctor, John Doctor.
I was hoping JD was going to step in and do like his best impression of me or something. Hi, I'm Kyle, and I'm in Colorado. We all smoke weed out here.
We got Tegrity over here.
Yeah, we got Tegrity Farms.
Oh my God, Tegrity! Sorry for turning my head away from the mic. It's going to happen a lot. My food is away from me, so apologies to all the audience.
Yeah, I'll be muting a lot too while I eat because we're professionals.
Yeah, we're professionals that eat during recordings. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, no doubt.
I eat during my my streams when I used to do that back in the day, so I really just don't give a fuck about people's auditory experiences.
Well, when you do that for like 3 or 4 hours, it's kind of like, well...
Yeah, but still, like, you're still chewing in people's ear, and like, I don't give a fuck. That's just kind of where my headspace is at, that I don't really care about everybody else's auditorial experiences. So,
absolutely.
That's how I feel about that.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm pretty sure I already introduced JD and said John Doctor, but JD is here as well.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
me.
The doctor is in. Have we never said that before?
I said it last week, technically. Time works differently when you record.
Right.
Well, when you're dealing with time in general.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Indeed. Hopefully we never have to go back to our biggest hit episodes and pull jokes or something like that, like a joke time heist or...
joke time.
Fuck. I don't know what that's a reference to, but that was pretty brilliant in my opinion.
Yeah. We could do a roast
If I knew what that was a reference to, it'd be brilliant.
To our past selves.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So...
I could do this all day.
We're going to do you can do this all day?
Sorry, that was one of my favorite moments. We didn't talk about it yesterday. I think when Cap was, he's doing the thing.
Cap says the line.
Yeah, he says the line, and then he's like,
he says the line to somebody, and someone's like, ah.
That's good shit. That is one of the best parts. Yeah.
It is.
Okay, so the format for the tournament is we each reveal our personal, totally subjective top 10. Technically, I guess the tournament debate ends up being subjective anyway, but we try to keep it objective.
Well, I mean, but if 3 people are agreeing on it, there's some sort of group objectivity, if you will. So
yeah, sure. I agree with that. Yeah, sure. So, we're going to do that, reveal our top 10s, and just plow through them without really explanation, except for JD's number 10 deserves an explanation. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. You don't need to explain that. We'll do that, and then we'll agree on an order for 1 through 16 in the tournament bracket, and then we're just going to, vote it out like we normally do, but I'm just explaining for people that'll total noobs after like 80-something episodes of this.
I actually still don't know how any of this works, so I'm really glad you explain it every time.
I don't even know. I haven't even mapped out the order. Kind of thinking of just winging it.
Oh, wow.
Should I just make it random?
It's very bold.
We should just, let's just try random. We've never done random before.
Let's just
do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be
I'm going to assign us each a number, but how do we work out who picks a number?
Oh.
I'm 3. I want to be 3.
Okay, Kyle's 3. He said 3.
Okay.
And out of fairness, because I'm, steering the ship, I'll just, whatever number's left,
Okay. Well, I'll just go with number 2 because poop jokes.
Okay. And I like that. Obviously number 1 because I'm the best, and also my list is correct.
You gave that to him, JD, and I'm really mad. So.
Not pee jokes, but because I'm the best.
Well, I figured if I went for number 1, he would turn around and make the poop joke, and I wanted to make the poop joke.
It's a lose-lose situation for you and I.
It really is.
So basically, at the start of each round, I'll just pick a number. And that's who goes first, and then I'll pick a number again, and then that's who goes next.
Ooh, we're going to go random every round.
Yeah, we'll just do it.
That's scary. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I know, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm tired of doing the math. You know what? You do the math. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. You go down there.
You take your act. You take your act. What is it? What are those things? That you use the counting machines or whatever that you use in math. Not
calculator.
Oh, the old ones with the beads, like the old like.
Oh, an abacus.
Abacus. I'm like an hibiscus. An hibiscus. Yeah, you take your abacus.
Yeah, you take your biscuit.
And you go tell him.
You grab your limp biscuit.
Way too long of a walk to get to that joke. I'm sorry.
Worth it to me, though.
You take your Limp Bizkit. Yeah.
If anybody else has seen the movie that we're referencing, you know exactly what we're talking about, and that's the best part, because there's nothing... I'm not going to tell you what it is. Yeah. You're going to have to figure it out the hard way and actually see it.
Exactly.
Yes, we're doing totally random this time. This is a spur of the moment decision. Hopefully this works. Hopefully this works. So, it doesn't really matter what order we reveal our top 10 list, though. So, JD, what's your top 10?
All right, well, my number 10, which I'm just going to gloss over really quick, is Watchmen. My number 9
Wait, hold on.
is...
Pump the brake.
No, keep going. Just keep going. Yeah, I like Watchmen.
Whatever, that's fine. No, I
fucking like
I'm
movies.
really glad someone put it on there.
I like
it's
movies.
probably a movie that I could take off right now and put that on here. It's what I'm sorry, but
It's fine. Number 9 is The Informant. Funny fucking movie and stuff. Zombieland is my number 8. I Love You Man is my number 7. Up in the Air is number 6. I've got Moon at number 5. District 9 at number 4. Inglourious Bastards at number 3. The objectively correct 500 Days of Summer at number 2. Totally objective. And my number 1 is The Wrestler.
The Wrestler.
Oh,
yeah, let me tell you something. Wait, I just did like a Hulk Hogan does Randy Savage. Let me tell you something, brother. Ooh, yeah.
Fire in the sky.
Doesn't add up. I'll just fucking go next. And you know what, Kyle, you're whatever. You live far away anyway. So what are you gonna do?
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm just kidding.
That's fair.
So my number 10, I just rearranged this list, so you guys will probably be thrown off a little bit. But my number 10 is The Informant. Number 9 is Zombieland. Number 8 is Up in the Air. Sorry, it used to be much higher.
Oh, wow.
Number 7 is District 9. Number 6 is Moon. Hey, great sci-fi. This year, good sci-fi year. Number 5 is the objectively correct position for 500 Days of Summer.
I mean, fundamentally disagree.
Number 4 is Star Trek. Yup.
Whoa.
That high.
Wow.
Wow. How do you guys really feel? Number 3 is I Love You Man.
All right.
Number 2 is Inglourious Bastards. Number 1 is The Wrestler.
Okay. All right.
So predictable 1 and 2 for me. Kyle, what is your 10 through 1?
You hate both of your lists so much, I'm not going to go. So
okay, I get it. No, I get it.
No. My number 10 is The Informant, so we sync C's there. My number 9 is Fanboys because I'm the only one who likes Star Wars on this podcast. My number 8 is The World's Greatest Dad because I'm the only one who has feelings on this podcast.
Hey man, how dare you?
My number 7 dropped down quite a bit. District 9, watched that last night.
Wow.
Like it just fine. Just dropped down a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, it's still 10. It's still 10 worthy. I agree.
Still 10 worthy. Yeah. Number 6, Star Trek. Number 5, Inglourious Bastards, which I don't know why they spelled it that way.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Bastards.
No, I hate that movie, apparently. Yeah. My number 4 is the correctly placed 500 Days of Summer. You're both wrong. It's somewhere in the middle of both of you.
We all ended up wrong on that. Jesus.
It's in the middle of both of you guys.
Wrong. We should probably just keep it out of the tournament. Just
it's a really bad movie, so
can't agree on it.
Because it's not top 3. My top 3, however, is I Love You Man, number 3, and the correctly placed Wrestler at number 2, and Moon at number 1 because it's the best movie.
Number 1.
Whoa.
Man.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Whoa.
The son of David Bowie directed that? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to.
Wait a minute. Joke. Did he do Mute? Because we love that movie.
Yeah.
I love good sideburns. And that's what that movie.
When I'm watching Moon, and then I go, you know what? I would really like another sci-fi movie from this guy. And then we get Mute. Like, that's not what I was fucking talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
not source code and pretend it's a sequel or something. Because source code.
Source code's really good. So yeah, I could buy that.
We'll talk about that in 2 years. If we're all still kicking it and want to do a podcast. Anyway, I'm sure we're going to have a falling out over like Hurt Locker or whatever.
It's at this episode for sure.
Probably.
So y'all are gonna see history.
It's probably not going to make the tournament.
I mean,
based on the fact that our 10 is so different and like.
Wait, neither of y'all had Hurt Locker in your 10?
No.
Nobody likes that movie.
Or Hangover, yeah.
Or Hangover, you guys.
Yeah, Hangover was close. Hangover
was my 10 for a while, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with something that I like. That I feel like aged better. You know what I mean? Like, not that it aged poorly. Like the jokes still kind of land for me, but in terms of like movies you can revisit and it doesn't get like sour on you or anything, or you don't like you still laugh the same or feel the same.
It would have aged better if it had stayed a standalone movie and they hadn't made a couple more, which told the same fucking jokes.
Like the same fucking movies.
And I really hate to have legacy affect like the individual objectivity of a first movie.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, dude. We did not need more of those at all.
No,
they could have stayed with one thing and been perfect.
Oh man.
Man, there's just going to be a lot of probably me saying this on this podcast. I mean, forever, and probably have in the past or whatever. But boy, I know that movie's good, but I just do not like it.
Oh wow. Okay.
The first one.
I understand. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know what it is about it. By all accounts, it should be funny. I love Heather Graham. You could put her in anything, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking see that. You know. And I don't know. So there's everything about that movie just doesn't work for me. I have no idea why. I've got no logical explanation for it.
It's got a weird sense of humor, so I mean, it's not this accessible "I love you, man" type of humor or whatever.
It's true. Yeah, I guess that's true. It is very zany, over the top, and I love all those people. I love every single one of those guys.
I agree.
So,
yeah.
So it's one of those things where I know I'm the anomalous one, where I'm like, oh, what the.
All right, so we're just going to formulate the bracket, and then we'll, before we start debating, I can go over some other movies that came out that we didn't discuss at all. So I guess the mutual number one should be The Wrestler, technically, because two of us have it at number one. Is that right?
I guess. Yeah. That's how you want to play it.
so how that shook out? Yep, JD and I have it at number one. All right, cool. Wrestlers one. JD hated Moon, so did I, so...
Yeah,
Where did you have
really,
it, Jeff?
it's garbage.
I have it at 6, he has it at 5.
Yeah. Wow, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The fuck is going on with our list?
What the fuck?
I think...
So I Love You Man would be next, maybe?
JD apparently hates it, though, so...
Yeah, I hate it. I think I have it really low at 8 or something.
So you have one of the best comedies of all time in the history of comedies. You have it all the way at number 8 for the year.
I also have one of the best comedies at number 2.
It's a rom-com. Let's
yeah, I mean... But I Love You Man is not a rom-com. It's guy love.
No.
Between two guys.
But, Superbad's better, obviously. That's what we established on this podcast.
Hey, we got to go back to that episode.
We have to go. We go back to that episode, and you tell him.
Tell yourself.
Oh my God, this is the new thing. Shit, we called the shot last week.
Yeah,
quote unquote.
Yeah,
we called it. We were like, this is going to be the new thing we say.
Yeah, we told ourselves in that episode.
Went back.
We go back and tell whatever.
I am losing it at how great that fits into almost every single sentence.
It does. That's fits into everything you discuss.
I wish I could go back to that episode and tell us that it would work so well. Anyways,
I went ahead and plugged in Love You Man at 2 because it's just number 3 for two of us, and I know you have it at 7, JD, but still, that adds up more than Moon at 1 and then 5 and 6 in my...
Yeah, it does.
Weird brain.
That's how math. No, it's not weird. That's how math works.
That's cool.
Okay, cool. So I think Moon could be justified for 3 then.
It's just that.
And justified. It's just. Hold on. Who is that? That sounds like a dude. That sounds like somebody else that's totally not in Justified.
It's
Justified. Oh, it's like Matthew McConaughey's. Like he's in Justified.
It's Justified.
I was Justified.
Gotta pump those Justified numbers up. Those are Justified numbers.
Those are rookie numbers, son. I've jerked it 3 times since we've been here.
Fuck, man. Plug him into... Yeah, I want to see him in some Judd Apatow comedies replacing some people that are already there. Hey, man. I can't even think of a quote from 40-Year-Old Virgin, but think of one from 40-Year-Old Virgin. You know what? I always thought...
Hey, Andy.
This is 40's joke right here with this talking.
Hey, man. I always thought Matt Damon was a Streisand, but he's knocking the shit out of this one. All right.
A 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, I know. We can do an entire thing with. This is an hour of it is going to be Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, just us, hours, Matthew McConaughey, Hawkeye quotes. So.
Is it Hawkeye? I don't know. I don't know.
Wait, I wasn't even talking about any specific quote. I just was bringing up Hawkeye for no reason.
And just go back in time and tell you.
If you could tell yourself to go back. Okay, sorry. My goal is to say it wrong every time. So
yeah, no, I'm never going to say it.
I'm pretty sure we all are. Yeah. But that's the humor in it. That you should be. That's the same thing. Yeah.
Well, we were saying that wrong. Yeah, the entire time. I mean, and that was of the time. Right.
That was entirely my fault, and then y'all just went along with it. That's what it was.
I figured the guy who had seen it twice would know what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah, but you underestimated.
Where I was
you underestimated my ability to be smart.
Well, maybe next time we will estimate you.
Yes, you should properly estimate.
I will estimate you appropriately.
Yeah, you go back and you tell yourself to estimate.
So I put number 4. I put Inglourious Basterds. That just makes the most sense, honestly.
All right.
I had it at 5, so yeah, sure.
Yeah. And then JD and I had it at 2 and 3.
I did have Days of Summer at 4, so was that on there already?
Days should be next for sure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you both. I appreciate that.
It's not. It's because we all...
I really wanted to rewatch that movie. Not available anymore.
It's fine. I just love that movie.
I do too.
A lot.
It's good.
Not-
It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not my top 5 or anything. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's not the best comedy,
Yeah, it's not one of the best ones
your
ever. Yeah.
status, but
Yeah, here you go.
it's fine.
No way.
So, number 6.
Did JD hate Star Trek, or where did that fall for?
Star Trek is like my number 11. I probably would have had it at 10 if I wasn't trying to squeeze Watchmen
So,
in there.
District
Yeah.
9.
He likes Watchmen better than Star Trek. I respect that. I really do. I'm not
Yeah.
being,
Put
not
some
being
respect
rude
on
or
it.
facetious right now. That's.
I mean, I just
I
think-
really like Watchmen, and I hate Snyder. So like the amount of my, and I really like Dawn of the Dead too. So he can do good movies sometimes, but it's just
yeah.
shit director. Let's carry on.
Yeah.
Did you get the on nose? Like, did you get my Jesus references in that movie, or did you?
No,
guys get it,
no,
or-
no, dude.
I don't know
Not
if
at
you
all.
guys saw that.
Wait, Man of Steel is about Jesus?
Hold on, did you see when Clark like extended his arms when he was like floating away from the spaceship? Did you see
When his
that?
dad like chose to die, that was like people abandoning God. That was like the representation of that movie. Okay, never mind.
What?
Hey, what do you?
No, this
I
is
thought it was.
stupid.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say. I thought that was just a bad decision.
No, it's just a really bad decision. Yeah, it had
It's
no,
a bad
it had no
filmmaking call,
biblical
yeah.
representation whatsoever. No.
What do you guys think about Batman and Superman's mother being the same person?
Oh
What do you
my
think
God.
about Martha actually? being
No,
Batman?
no, the same name, right? Just the same name? No, like
No, I
literally.
will never not view that movie ever. Well, never again to begin with. We're going on a DC rant, guys. I'm so excited.
Yeah, see, this is what I wanted.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. They've been killing it lately, so it's really hard to transition into this.
Yeah,
but
'cause Shazam
I
was
will
good.
never, if I ever think about that movie, I will always go, well, Zack Snyder thinks that both Marthas are the same woman. So, and that's how I'll always think of it, always, because that's what he was pushing for, and fuck him for that.
So stupid.
So you guys are brothers.
Get it?
You get it? You guys are brothers.
So I guess the next the three of us have in common is the Informant. That's kind of crazy to think of, but because I have District 9 at 6, and then 7. Yeah,
Just
Informant is the next one that we have. All three of us have in common.
yeah.
Because
I
Jamie
hate
doesn't have
Zombieland.
Star Trek, and Kyle hates Zombieland, so
It's my number 11. If we
hates
can
it.
use the example.
Hates it so much. So yeah, we'll go Informant at number 7. That's pretty fucking high, but okay.
Yeah,
we'll do
that's
it.
kind of high. Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
do
those,
it.
it's just like those lysine levels, they're
And then we'll do some Star Trekking because I had it really high and you guys were wrong for having it too low.
I'm
All
at
right.
6. What are you talking? I'm at 6.
I know you're right. You properly respected it. All right.
Why
did
did you
not.
have it at 5?
4.
he put it 4.
Well,
Yeah.
that's way too high.
Thank you. We'll see how this goes. All right. So Star Trek, and then JD and I have Up in the Air, Zombieland. Two of us have Zombieland, Up in the Air. And
Let's
then
do
it's
Zombieland and then Up in the Air, since I haven't seen Up in the Air.
Zombieland. Where do you have that, JD? Oh, 8 and
I've
8.
got that at 8.
8 and 9.
6 for Up in the Air.
Versus Up in the Air. Up in the Air is 6 for you and 7. Okay, Up in the Air makes more sense, honestly. All right, that's fine. That's okay. It might lose. It's okay. It
Okay.
shouldn't, but it might.
Because it's 8
It should win the whole year.
It's 9.
I agree.
It's
the movie I
9
haven't seen should
versus
win.
8 and 9. Oh, okay. All right. We'll see.
Well,
We'll see.
all right, so number 10 is going to be the other one that we were just talking about that I have a Zombieland, short-term memory failure. And the other one that we were literally just talking about a second ago, let me just vamp until I can think of it, Zombieland. That's what it was. All right. And then we got, Watchmen from JD's list, World's Greatest Dad, and Fanboys from Kyle's list. Pretty sure we've accounted for everything. By the way, everybody, we're going by wide release here. That's why the wrestler qualifies in this one. So if you don't like those rules, you can go grab your notebooks of corrections and you tell us at EoC Pod on Twitter. But had to get a plug in
Yeah.
there.
Of course.
Good.
All right, so Kyle has World's Greatest Dad, highest. Yeah, I'm just going to go by rankings at this point. So World's Greatest Dad next, then Fanboys, then Watchmen.
I like how we've adopted like saying back, like we say we have to go back, like from
From Lost,
and then and they're both movies about time travel. I just think that's funny. So
yeah, that's true.
Are they? I don't know if. And actually, you know what?
Well,
this is gonna come out like 2 weeks after Endgame. So if y'all don't know that like one of the main plot points is time travel, that's on y'all.
Yeah, like
we just went out and said it. Okay.
But like if you're sitting around and you're like, hey, I've got 3 hours to kill, what do I do? Listen to Inter Tournament of Champions or go see Endgame? Like, why are you choosing us? What the fuck are you like? Stop now, pause the episode, go watch movie, then come back.
Well, I would argue that the stuff we put out are higher quality than the Russo brothers, but that's just me pitching our stuff.
We are lacking a little diversity though. They've got a lot of diversity in that shit. We don't have a gay character. We're all white. I mean,
you're being a little reductive.
I can be gay for the show. I can be really gay for the show if you want. I don't care.
You could be gay just for the show.
Yeah. I mean, what? I'm totally gay for real.
Dedication.
So who's wearing the blackface then? Because it's not me. I can't afford it.
I mean,
I'll just get a really good tan and just we just don't really talk about it. It's just like a thing. Like, and then people mistake me for a different race, then so be it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And we won't correct them. We won't be like, excuse me, I am white.
Well, maybe you're like, could you be fluid race? Have we gone there yet? You can be a fluid gender, but can you be a fluid race?
You should ask that Rachel Dolezal lady.
I can identify as a Mexican man today or something like that. We're getting into some choppy waters here, Jeff. What's number 12?
Very, very choppy. We should ask Rachel Dolezal how that went and see if she was able to successfully pull off black.
Our legal section is just staring at us right now, just shaking their head no. Just like, no, don't go down that road, guys.
You would think that they would have a better handle on what.
Well, we don't pay them, so they probably don't. They're probably very, they're probably very mad at us in general.
Nobody listens to this anyway, so it's fine. Especially Finnish people, they don't listen to this. And if they did, turn it off. Don't listen to this.
Dude, we're an anti-Finnish podcast, so I really would like it if you are Finnish to just turn off the podcast right now.
And really go stare at a wall, which is what you're probably
really have nothing
doing
to say.
anyway.
Yeah, go watch Paint and Dry, which is your country's pastime.
Fuck. That country did nothing. In fact, I probably want to visit there, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
love Finland.
It's one of the best places to see the Northern Lights, and you guys are just like, terrible garbage city.
You guys, excuse me, JD, what we do together as a group. Regardless of your participation, that's how you feel about the Finnish.
I voiced my dissent, and I was like, all right, this is what we're doing now. So, I mean, you guys want to spearhead that? That's fine.
Guys, we have 3 vacancies left in the tournament now, because I've already counted for all the ones that some of us just had only
3
one
vacancies.
Or whatever. So we have 3. So technically, the Hangover could still make it, and that would be fun, I guess. But it doesn't matter; they're lower numbers anyway.
Can we nominate not the whole movie, but just the "fuck you, Ronnie" scene from Observe and Report?
I like the Observe and Report a lot. I think that movie's very funny
because that's my favorite scene in the movie.
And
it's
that whole movie is very funny, but that scene is the best part of that movie.
Yeah, movie's goofy.
Barely remember that movie.
As a security officer, it's like waiters watching Waiting. Like security officers observe and report. Like that's just
Oh, I got the perfect one. Avatar.
What?
Yes, 100%.
JD knows what that is.
JD's favorite movie, Space Smurfs.
Hello. What?
It's breaking up. Can I just say about Avatar that if you like that movie, shame on you.
Yeah, that was one I was going to bring up because it's not going to make our tournament. Bland as fuck. Sorry. Like, I mean, visually it's not that bland, but like the story is so bland that it doesn't do the visuals any favors for me. Like,
do you guys remember Sigourney Weaver's in that movie? Neither do I, because that movie's forgettable. So
remember the lead guy who was in all these Hollywood
Sam
movies
Worthington? Yes, he's worthless. That's why he's in a worthless movie.
Yeah, it's great. I like how he was in Terminator Salvation the same year. He could bore us in 2 movies this year.
I really liked how we got a double helping of boring that year from him. So yeah, thank you, Sam Worthington.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Good for you. Which that was the movie he did that on, right?
It's the one that Christian Bale did that on, and it came out in 2009. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's so great. You guys, we're celebrating the anniversary of Christian Bale yelling at some poor lighting guy. So.
Some poor lighting guy who doesn't know how to.
Probably first day on the job and he had no idea what he was doing.
So I'm gonna nominate and throw it out there for Adventureland because I feel that movie's vastly underrated.
I very much so like Adventureland.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, throw that on. It's an indie darling.
Yeah, it's fucking great and
Big
relatable.
year
as
for
hell.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other one he was in? Short-term memory fail. What was the other one he was in? What am I missing?
Zombieland.
Oh, duh. Duh.
You know the other movie that made our list? You know?
Yeah, Adventureland feels like it was. We'll fucking get.
He was in a lot of land movies that year. Good year for land movies.
Gran Torino, I really liked. World's Greatest Dad's in my honorable mention, but I guess I already made it. Drag Me to Hell is ridiculous.
Drag Me to Hell's pretty fun. Yeah, I like that movie.
It's so fucking stupid. I love it.
Yeah, it's exactly the right way to watch that movie. The movie is incredibly dumb, but I enjoy it. Yeah.
Should we, Kyle? You saw Up, right? You eventually saw Up.
I did see Up. Why don't we have Up on there?
Okay.
Pixar should be on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause I really
Cool.
liked that movie.
Yeah, it's good.
Sherlock Holmes at 16. Does that feel like a right spot? Or
I love Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
It should probably be on
yeah,
my
JD,
list.
you liked it too, right?
I like that movie.
Yeah, I
quite a
did.
bit.
Yeah, I have Up and Sherlock like right next to each other in my own.
16 honestly doesn't matter at this point. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, Best Picture winner 2009 was The Hurt Locker, Kyle's favorite movie. And
My favorite movie of that year.
Yeah, has absolutely
yours too, because we all chose it for our top 16 movies of the year. So
Yep, that's
Yeah.
why it's
good
on
job,
the
good
list.
job, guys.
Yeah.
If anybody just Googles Hurt Locker, you're gonna find a shit ton of articles about its glaring inaccuracies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's I feel that's like the main reason that people dislike
It
so
is,
much.
and my hangups for that specific part of why I don't like it is because when I watch military movies, I want accuracy because like I just and that's my baggage that I bring into those movies like military. I just want military accuracy, and if I don't catch it, great. And if it's not inaccurate, that's fine or whatever. But the little easy things, like just get right. You can pick up a phone and call somebody.
Yeah.
You could have somebody on set fix that stuff.
Yeah, and the fact that they did so much
consultant,
research and ended up with deciding to do what they did with the movie is doubly confusing.
Yeah, I agree. Like you were saying that there is some unfairness to making it's not a documentary, and there is some truth to that or whatever. But
Yeah.
like it's so easy to get that stuff right.
My qualms with it weren't so much the accuracy thing because I can forgive that a lot in tons of movies. But Jeremy Renner's character this next time that I watched it, when I watched it in 2009, I thought it was like one of the best movies ever. But when I watched it like very recently because I wanted to refresh my memory, Jeremy Renner's character he fucking sucks, dude. Like, just from
He's
a
kind of a
writing
shitty
perspective,
person. Well,
he's just shitty cowboy,
super selfish,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And that was the other thing I didn't like about the movie was like you don't have to relate to everybody in a movie, but like it was hard for me to like see what this guy's point was or whatever.
Yeah.
I just really like being in the thick of it, like fuck my kid and my wife,
Right.
Like, I just
My wife, who is
those
Evangeline
things-
Lilly, by the way. What the like? You're gonna
I know,
leave her?
fuck off. Yeah, you're gonna leave her. Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck off.
No,
So
not
that
possible.
stuff also kind of rubbed me the wrong way as well. But
Yeah.
like that stuff I could, more forgive just because like people like that probably do exist. Like I have friends who are EOD who would say it's just like, I mean, it takes a certain type of person to go
Yeah.
into the field for that
So
job. And they're probably addicted to that adrenaline rush,
Yeah.
So like there's probably some truth to that, but like it's on a relatability level for that character. Yeah, I was just like, you're kind of a shitty person.
Right,
So-
yeah, exactly. And that can take you out of the journey that he's trying to go on. And you're like, this is our main protagonist, and he kind of sucks as a person.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever. I liked the shoot. There was like a really long shootout where they're like having to camp in the sand with like Anthony Mackie and stuff like that, and try and snipe a guy in some house that's really far away. That's a great scene. Anyway, that's one positive.
You know what? But
Picture, though?
I would rather that movie win over Avatar, which I think was like the other like top runner of that year. So
It was, yeah. It was
Yeah,
like
so
always. It
good.
was between those two in the Oscars, and
those two
everybody was
divorcees,
like,
right? They
it's gonna
used to be
Avatar.
married.
Yeah,
right?
they used to be married or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
And
she
then James
won.
Cameron decided to divorce her and marry his bad ideas. So, good for him.
Oh, zing!
Anyway, that's one Best Picture. This was a pretty astronomically terrible year for franchise movies, in my opinion. Because I already mentioned Terminator Salvation and how bad that is, and it saved nothing. Boondock Saints 2 came out, long anticipated sequel.
Never saw it.
Disappointing as shit, dude.
Never saw
Really
it.
disappointing.
Never would.
I like the first one so much. I don't want to like.
Oh
sully.
yeah, it'll just like make you go, Wait, was I wrong for liking the first one? Yeah.
Yeah,
Olympic
right.
question
Oh, and
why
that
you
guy,
like
that
the first
director,
one.
gigantic piece of shit.
Oh my God, yes. There's a
Did you watch his
documentary on him.
documentary?
How
Yeah,
big
I
of a
was
piece
about to
of
say,
shit
did you
he
watch
is,
that
yeah.
documentary? Oh my God, it's so. It's such a flame job on that movie, man, or
It is.
on that guy. Yeah.
Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen came out this year. I think this is the one that had. This is the second one with Shia LaBeouf in it, and this is where the Transformers. One of them has like a nutsack or whatever.
Oh,
what
the
this one's known for.
Constructicon or whatever.
Yeah.
Had nutsacks.
I'm near the
yeah.
testicles or whatever.
Pass.
And
At
then,
least
like,
the
I
third
think
movie
there's-
had the big Chicago scene, but like this movie had almost nothing in
I
it.
think there's a Cybertron Heaven or something too in this one. Like Shia LaBeouf dies and visits the robot.
Why would he go to Cybertron Heaven? Why would he go to Robot
It
Heaven?
doesn't make any fucking sense at all. It's a nonsense movie.
Hey, but Megan Fox's butt, right?
Hey man, she's in it and attractive. Good for her. Dragon Ball Evolution. It's almost this is one of the worst movies ever. This is my top 10 worst movies ever.
I have nightmares about how bad this movie is.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
How did they
Twilight
get all these
Saga.
people to waste all their time,
Yeah.
and how did like most of this cast go on to do Shameless, like a super successful show?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and those two had chemistry out the ass in that show, and I wouldn't have guessed it from Evolution at all.
No.
I love Emmy Rossum. She's fucking great. Anyway,
I'd let her read me a book. I love her.
yeah, she's fantastic. Anyway, Twilight Saga released a shitty second movie, which everybody already knew was shitty by that point, but, just gotta, collect that cash, I guess. Underworld released a third one, and I liked the first one.
I like the first movie.
Second one wasn't that good, but like this third one was like nobody was in it that you knew. It was like a fucking shitty prequel sequel. It was like Rise of the Lycans.
Oh.
It was somebody else was in it. I can't remember who it was that was in it. I know Michael Sheen was in it as his main Lycan character or whatever, the werewolf character, but piece of shit. X-Men Origins Wolverine, the biggest crime for the X-Men
It's
universe.
a turd. That's a turd
Yeah.
of a movie. Yeah.
That's the one where Ryan Reynolds went back and shot himself for doing it, so
Yeah.
that tells you how good that is.
I like how even like the studio is like, it was really bad. You can go ahead and use that for this movie.
We acknowledge
we really
it was
fucked up.
terrible. Angels and Demons was the sequel to Da Vinci Code, and the book is fantastic. This movie is not good at all.
I heard it was so bad, and I really liked the first movie, and I like like Tom Hanks in that role or whatever. But like I heard it was so bad, I was like, yeah, I'll skip it.
Also, it was supposed to be a prequel, and hey, Tom Hanks aged, so that didn't really work.
Oh, weird.
It's weird how that works.
Yeah.
Because it came before Da Vinci Code. Yeah, it's like one of the few ones I read. I
like Da
think
Vinci
this is the
Code
only
a
one I
lot.
read, honestly. And
My
I
mom's
really-
favorite book is Angel and Demons, so I mean I know
Dude,
a lot
Angels
about
and
the
Demons
book.
is good. Yeah, it's really good. It's a lot of heavy focus on Catholicism.
That makes sense.
Like big. There's like a conspiracy and shit with like one of the main cardinals and all that shit. And it's
Well, Da Vinci Code's
such a
very
good book.
Catholicism based as well.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
Illuminati's tied into the
Yeah.
church and all that. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all the list of terrible ones. Oh yeah, G.I. Joe had one too, where Joseph Gordon-Levitt covers his face or whatever the fuck. What does he play? He plays the Cobra Commander.
Yeah, he plays Cobra Commander. Ah, yes, G.I. Joe! Yes,
Yeah.
that guy.
You're like, how the fuck did you get Joseph Gordon-Levitt for this? Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so unreal. I'm pretty sure either he or Channing Tatum was talked into it. Like, one of those two didn't want to do it, and I'm pretty sure Channing talked him into it. I think. I can't remember how that went, but terrible movie. They're both bad. This one,
Channing Tatum.
Retaliation, pretty bad. That's all I got for terrible movies, and then we already name dropped Avatar, which apparently has been snapped from JD's reality. He doesn't know what
Yeah,
it
I
is.
mean, I'm still just very confused on what y'all are even talking about. So
The movie's really bad, everybody.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
like, don't like that movie. Like,
Yeah,
if you
and the
do,
fact that people were
you're
like
wrong.
became disconnected from reality because Avatar was so good.
Yeah, can I
know.
offer you something? If you guys are that easily susceptible, go try LSD or mushrooms or something, because that will really wow you. Then, if a fucking movie like ripped you from this reality and now you can't somehow assimilate back into it for whatever reason, like fuck off. Like that's the craziest thing in
Especially
the
a
entire
movie
world.
that
to me.
bland as shit.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, I just want to live there. Where it's boring as fuck.
Yeah, I want to live where like Fern Gully happened, except it's not Fern Gully, it's Avatar, because James Cameron doesn't have original ideas anymore. Anyway, I can't wait for the 16 sequels.
Oh man, remember when James
Yeah,
Cameron made
no,
great
me-
movies
me
like
either.
this? That was good. Those were the days.
I'll bring up some other ones if we have time. But anyway, we're going to start the tournament. First matchup is 16 seed versus 1 seed. The way this shakes out is similar to March Madness for those that haven't listened before. 16 seed is Sherlock Holmes, as we decided, versus number 1 seed, The Wrestler. Technically, this is a quick vote, but should I even decide on an order, or should we just all agree?
Let's just quick vote it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, the wrestler
vote.
is moving forward.
Oh,
But,
I was gonna. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, my bad. Oh, shit. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean I would have been outvoted, so it's fine. It's fine. One's about being happy, and the other one's about being sad. What do you think I'm going with?
I will say, I
I'm
think
going,
people...
Tommy's tits. I'm going with that one.
Oh yeah, never mind. I changed my vote. It's wrestler.
Yeah, see? That's all you need.
You know what? This has two future oppositions in different movies. This match.
Yes.
Yeah,
They.
Tony Stark and
I want
guy
Bird.
who wants Bird.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I am bored.
Boyd with the
Bird.
B-O-R-I-D.
Bird.
B-O-I-R-D. Boyd.
Bored.
Bird. I want Bird.
Weird.
Look, I rewatched Sherlock Holmes for this, and I actually really enjoyed it. And this one and the second one, which I even liked more somehow. I don't know.
I
what
like
happens.
Sherlock Holmes too a lot. So yeah.
But those two somehow get lumped in, and Man from U.N.C.L.E. because I think enough people just didn't see it. They somehow get lumped in with Guy Ritchie's lost his touch talk. You know what I mean?
Nope. No.
And it's
That's
just,
not. Those aren't
I just
these
can't
movies.
agree with that. Yeah.
Not even Man from U.N.C.L.E. Like you're wrong. And people even say that about Rock and Roll and stuff. I'm like, no. And Revolver, I'm sorry. No, you're naming all good movies right now. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love the script for Sherlock Holmes is specifically the dialogue is just God
it's so
damn it,
good.
it's so
you know
sharp.
his downfall literally started with just his last movie, Sword in the Stone. So
yeah. The King Arthur movie was terrible.
Yeah, King Arthur. Yeah, so let's not. He did one bad movie. Let's not pick apart his entire legacy all of a sudden.
Of course, the dialogue is razor sharp and witty as shit because Downey Jr.'s in it. But like him and Jude Law playing off each other, you can feel that chemistry for days, man. Those two work really well off each other. And yeah, I just like how fucking nonchalant he was and witty he was about certain situations. Like something about the cops need to come here, and then Sherlock fires a gun. And he's like, okay, they're on their way, or whatever. It's like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. It's for funny shit in the movie, okay. And Mark Strong is one of his first villain roles ever right here. This is post Rock and Rolla, so I think
Great
Kyle,
villain
you
role.
and I knew who he was after Rock and Rolla,
Yeah.
but like seeing him as a villain
Was Rock and Roll like his first
oh.
movie? That's crazy.
To us, technically, like in terms of like
It was
mainstream,
this and Kick-Ass for me.
yeah.
Yeah, Kick-Ass would have been around that time. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but like this was the first one where he's like a villain, and Kick-Ass was like I think that's next year, 2010.
Yeah.
He's so good in this role, though, Mark Strong.
Oh, dude, he's so good. This is like, he's gonna be a villain forever. type
Yeah,
role.
exactly. He's gonna get typecasted into villain roles forever.
But I think it's very entertaining. I don't think it's like perfect or whatever, but I think it's very entertaining.
The fighting's really good. I like when
Yeah.
he slows down and analyzes how he's gonna beat the shit out of people.
Oh
That's-
yeah, seeing it in real time too, where it's like happens in a split second and they're fucking down.
And there's a lot of there's moments here that make it feel like Snatch to me as well. Like there's a lot of, I don't know. Like I'm not saying there's similar movies by any means, but like because it's Guy Ritchie, like there's a very Guy Ritchie stamp of his flavor on this movie, which I just like. So
Okay. So Randy the Ram gets another life, I guess. The second coming.
Here we
whatever
go.
you wanna call it.
All right.
He's a wrestler. Moves on. Number 1 seed. Who would have guessed it? All right. This next matchup is really fucking difficult, at least for me and JD probably. Number 9 seed is Up in the Air versus number 8 seed Star Trek.
Oh.
This fucking sucks.
Who's going first?
Let me draw one. Oh, it's me. That's perfect. Number 1 is the random number Droon right now. Fuck. I had Star Trek higher, but like, we try to be objective with these, and like, Up in the Air is definitely, technically speaking, like just a better made movie, and the dialogue is it's on. We just talked about a razor sharp, witty dialogue, and Sherlock Holmes, and Up in the Air is full of that too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you want two actors that can sell the shit out of that, you get George Clooney and Anna Kendrick. They're fucking perfect for it. And this was like her stepping outside of a bit part in Twilight for like the first time, and she's like getting all these award recognitions. This is like what launched
I always
her.
forget that that's kind of what she's from is Twilight.
Yeah.
And now she's like so good. I don't even like. She's not even like, oh, she's that Twilight girl that made it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Because up in the air,
she's separated herself completely.
Exactly.
Whereas Patterson is still like vampire. Even I call him Vampire Boy. You know, like even though he's so much better than that.
Yeah,
like we all
is.
know that. Everyone here, we're all Patterson fans.
Watch High Life, everybody. That'll
dude. Yeah, High Life will fuck you up. Yeah.
What are you doing? My dog's doing some weird shit. Sorry, got distracted.
And you have to mention the Rover every time he gets brought up, and I have to mention. Well, I don't have to. This is probably my first time, but that movie where with the Sons of Anarchy boy, where they're like explorers.
Oh, that's Lost City of Zed. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good in that too. I like him a lot in that.
Dude, he's so good in that, and he's also great in Good Time as well.
Yeah, he was really.
Good Time is so good. Oh, that's gonna be the one I mentioned from now on. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, damn it, he's so good in that. But anyway, back to delaying my vote. Indefinitely delaying my vote. I love Star Trek more, so this is going to be really tough. I think I got to go with Up in the Air, though, just from like a technical level. But Star Trek I've watched so many more times, and it's almost like I don't watch it enough because each time I watch it, I'm reminded of how much I fucking love it. And the fact that movie introduced me to Star Trek at all, like in general, and now I'm not this big Trekkie or whatever, but like I bothered to go back and watch a lot of those other movies from before, with the exception of I haven't seen any of the Next Generation movies at all, but with the original cast and stuff like that, and love those. Watch some of the original series, not a lot of it. It is a little dated, obviously, because it's like in the 70s, but and I enjoyed that too. So like this like turned me on to Star Trek in general.
Cool.
So there's a lot to be said for that, because before that I laughed off Star Trek bullshit, you know.
I echo everything you just said about Star Trek.
Yeah.
So.
And it's they did JJ did
like,
such a great job.
You couldn't pay me to give a shit about Star Trek until that movie came out.
Exactly.
And then a lot of Star Trek fans were like, yeah, because it's like Star Wars. I'm like, well, if that's what it is, good. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know if that's what it is. I don't agree with that.
I don't think
feel
so.
Like
I feel like they're still exploring what Star Trek did before, where like they're still exploring sci-fi themes and messages and stuff in their movies. Where Star Wars is it's an epic fantasy and stuff like
it's
that.
A space opera.
Yeah, exactly. And Star Trek is kind of like, well, technically we could get to where Star Trek is going, as a society or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It probably not in our lifetimes, obviously, but technically we could get there, and technically when we do, there would be like a space federation that just.
Well, we would have to get rid of the Finnish people first, though, if we're going to get there.
Of course,
absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
Or send them all to space first to test out our equipment.
Yes, I like that idea better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if we die? Oh, I don't know. What's going to happen?
I don't know. What you get for being born Finnish,
Shit. Yeah, I do love Star Trek a whole bunch, but Up in the Air, especially, it's got that gut punch that we're not going to spoil for Kyle, but it's got a gut punch in it that's
oh yeah.
It feels like it comes out of nowhere, and the movie feels like
it does and it doesn't
go in one clean direction, and it totally fucking doesn't, and that's why I love it so much as well. I feel like if out of any of the nominees for Best Picture, which was like this one and Up and oh god, what one again? Hurt Locker, Avatar.
Avatar, yeah.
There were 10 nominees that year. But I feel like Up in the Air should have been the one that won technically that year. District 9, I guess, was nominated too. Shit. So I guess either one of those should have won.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to go with that just for like on a technical level, and and enjoyment. It's in my top 10 for a reason. I enjoy the shit out of it as well, even though it is very depressing. I don't know, Kyle. Do you know the premise of it?
Of Up in the Air?
Yeah.
None at all. No.
So he's like a traveling a guy who fires people, basically.
And
like
Anna Kendrick
his
is like
firm,
underneath him, right? Like
his firm is hired by corporations that don't want to fire people. You know what I mean? So they hire George Clooney to do the firing. Basically, George Clooney's company to do the firing, and he's the one that goes out and delivers the message and helps them get like a package or whatever, like a whatever you want to call it.
Severance,
like, here's your severance.
The severance package.
Also, we have a hiring whatever
transition stuff, all that.
Exactly, which I've been handed before, and I'm like, oh my god, his job is exactly like that. Yep. But Anna Kendrick is hired because she wants to do everything over like Skype or whatever instead of in person. And obviously that's going to backfire because you need to be personal about it. You can't just do it over Skype. And it's incredibly awkward when they do it for the first time. But yeah, that's what she's brought in to do. And yeah, it's really about how fulfilling or unfulfilling George Clooney's life is, because he does this all the time. He loves traveling around. He doesn't really have a home so much. He just accrues miles and hopes to be like the 5th person ever to get like 1 million. Is it 1 million miles or something like that? He wants to.
It's 10 million.
10 million miles.
He's going to be the 7th person to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the youngest person ever to do it.
Yep.
So that's his goal, basically. He's got it's like shitty life goals because he doesn't have anything else going for him.
He's only at his apartment for like 40 days out of the year or something like that.
Yeah. And then he meets Vera Farmiga, who's she's a traveling person as well.
She's hot.
But she kind of changes his perspective a little bit about what he wants out of life, and it becomes that type of movie, more or less, where it's like there's a romance there, but I think there's just more to the movie than that. Kind of like Juno's a romance movie, which is the same director. And
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. And J.K. Simmons is in Up in the Air, by the way, because he's in all the Jason Reitman movies, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. It's a good little scene.
Yeah, it's great. And so like Juno does have a romance in it, but it's about more than that. You know what I mean? So it's like that, more or less. So that's just an overview of that movie, more or less, from the Up in the Air. Get it? It's Up in the Air. Anyway, so that's my vote is for Up in the Air, and rolling the dice. JD's next. Fuck me.
Oh wow! What do you know? I am actually. I'm going to go with Up in the Air on this one as well. I didn't know that I was a little
you
more.
You guys hate sci-fi. I get it.
I actually was going to say I didn't know I was into Trek earlier than the two of you. I actually watched a lot of Star Trek as a kid.
Nerd. What a nerd.
Never liked it as much as Star Wars, so it was always definitely one where if I was, getting into it with somebody about which was better, I'm going with Star Wars all day. But I watched a lot of Next Generation. My dad.
JD, I'm sorry, but Star Wars is better. So
Star Wars.
You picked the right team.
Better. Correct.
You picked the right team. Yeah,
for sure. But this reboot was fun for me. I really wasn't expecting a whole lot. I thought the whole alternate timeline aspect was really smart. For me, I didn't watch a whole lot of super smart sci-fi until really around this time. So
same here, yeah.
This was kind of one of those weird periods where if it was a dumb action movie or if it was sci-fi, I was going to watch it, and that's usually all you were going to get me out to the theater to watch is kind of movies like that or District 9 or something. So I had a lot of fun with this, but yeah, I think over time, man, Up in the Air, I didn't need to rewatch it. I still remember it fairly well from when I first watched it a few years back. I caught it on HBO or something randomly. And yeah, Clooney and Anna Kendrick's chemistry is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And they're not in the relationship.
I know. I figured so.
Yeah, there's nothing going on there.
She could be his daughter.
That's the important thing is they have genuine chemistry, and it's not like that at all. And I don't know. It was just kind of a fresh approach, like you said, Jeff. It has the love element to it, but that's not what it's all about.
I agree with the Star Trek is something that I love going back to and stuff. The 2009 one, but Up in the Air is one that I saw around maybe a year after it came out, and that one I hadn't rewatched again until recently because it sticks with you big time, man.
Yeah.
It is a topic that's not necessarily there is comedy throughout, but it's the topic of firing people. It's not necessarily a happy topic, so there's that whole element.
I mean that movie came out before a lot of stuff went bad with the economy for a little while there.
Oh it's got to be a little too real.
It's got to be real for a lot of people. I mean, gosh.
Actually, this happened around the same time, so it's more timely than ever because it was 2008 or whatever when all that shit went down, right? So this has to have been this is very real type thing.
Right.
Also, fun fact, whenever they're doing exit interviews or whatever for people that seem to be random, those are people that genuinely did get fired.
Oh, yeah, y'all were saying those were real stories, yeah.
Yeah, and that's fucking
except for J.K.
crazy
Simmons.
Right, no, of course, not J.K. Simmons. and some of any actor that you see that has interactions with Clooney, that's an actor, but in terms of ones that sometimes...
the testimonials.
Yeah, the testimonials that are just them talking... And it seems like they're being fired by Clooney, but they're not. Those are genuine people that Jason Reitman paid to do their scenes because they just got let go and they're telling their story.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's great, man. And they
no brainer.
How they felt
you
about it,
give somebody a job, get that raw emotion. It's a win-win.
Absolutely. Poor Star Trek though. God damn it.
I think Children of Men really wish it would have gotten this level of objectivity, in one of the previous episodes. But, you guys, I'm just happy that y'all are going, with objectivity and not your hearts.
We just pick and choose.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a very fleeting thing, this objectivity
absolutely
stance.
is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, we should go back.
Oh, I secretly hate you both right now. It's no big deal. And not because Star Trek. It's just more of a Children of Men just staring up from its grave right now, going, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah, what the fuck?
We're getting very close to, or we just passed, I think, the 2-year anniversary of that episode.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, sure enough.
Man.
Everybody go back and listen to that episode.
It haunts me.
Get your heart out of your chest during that episode.
It's one of my top 10 most haunted moments of my life, so.
Yeah. And you've been ghost hunting, so that's saying something.
And I've been ghost hunting.
You got touched on the leg by nothing, more or less.
By nothing. And this experience, Children of Men getting outed by some guitar singing movie, that was
some
way
guitar
more
singing movie.
Oh, shit. This is great. I love it.
Yeah.
Up in the air moves on, but even if Star Trek moved on, I don't think it would have had a shot. Honestly,
it wouldn't have. No, come on. It's it's a fun it's just a fun space movie.
And I just love the shit out of it. That's why I chose my list. I was like, you know what? I just love it more.
There are better sci-fi movies that came out this year that would beat it. So
I would agree with that. Yeah, on like an actual conceptual level and stuff. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. So next up is 13 seed Watchmen versus number 4 seed Inglourious Bastards.
Oh wow!
Feels like a quick vote. So we're just not even going
to
roll the dice here. My vote is for Watchmen. Obviously, that's
duh.
Zack Snyder is Jesus. So yeah,
Zaddy. Oh, whatever, Zaddy, whatever.
We have the same idea, different words. Though.
You say Ziti, like big Ziti?
Like Zaddy, like Zadie. I said Zadie.
Zadie. Okay.
Zadie. I don't know what I said. Doesn't matter.
Inglourious Bastards is definitely my choice. Is that?
Yeah.
I assume that's the way you guys are going.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I don't mean to sway. I'm not trying to be like, right, guys, and then like get confirmation like yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can talk about Watchmen for a little bit. I think it's definitely
very little bit because it's Watchmen.
Yeah.
No, it's a really good movie. I think this movie is really good, to be honest. Like I think it's a really good. It's one of my favorite comic books of all time, graphic novels.
Yeah.
I think it's they do a really outstanding job adapting it. Like all of the most important moments are in there. It's cohesive. I like the ending change as well. I think it actually works better for the movie. I don't think it's a better ending. I just think on a cinematic level, it just kind of works better. I like a lot about Watchmen, and the prison scene's awesome.
You don't think the giant squid would have worked on a big screen?
No, it would not have worked. People would have been like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it was the biggest WTF moment in that movie, in that graphic novel. Yeah.
Absolutely, it works for the comic book because it makes sense.
It could maybe work now that people are a little more receptive to just weird, random comic booky shit.
We'll see what Lindelof does though, because he can go weird and it be okay.
Lindelof stick to it.
I really do think whatever meat Snyder left on the bone there untouched from the original, like he's going to draw inspiration from that for sure.
Yeah,
like why not?
We don't even know if it's following that. Aren't we still, or is it actually the Watchmen?
Well, we don't know yet. We
don't know where in the
timeline. The days of the Minutemen when they're like in their heyday or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we know Rorschach is in it, so
yeah, we've seen pictures of him at least, or still.
Yeah, right.
He snuck up in that like HBO preview footage.
He was part of the original crew, so I mean that would make some.
He was. He was part of the old crew and the new one. Yeah, that's right. So I love his arc. He's one of the best characters in a superhero comic.
So locked in here with me.
Yeah. So fucking good.
I really like that movie. Like seriously, we'd take a lot of jabs at the old Snyder, but he did a good job with this movie, and he does have a really visual eye. Like he can make pretty things happen on a screen.
I think his style worked so much more for this than it did. I mean, it was fine for him to force feed that style with it because I think the visuals warranted it.
It's already dark. Like Watchmen's a dark universe, so he's like, I'm going to do a dark superhero movie, which he's like has such a hard on to do for whatever reason. Worked with this movie, whereas like when he tried to make Superman dark and like all of DC dark, it like just didn't really work. It's like only some characters are dark, man. Like who wants a fucking like super dark Superman? That's so weird to me.
And he's not like a parallel universe Superman. It's not like
He's just
like go all the way with it. Go Brightburn with it.
Just like a moody Superman. Like I don't know. This doesn't work. So.
And that makes his. That just makes him on like a hero level like less enjoyable to watch because if he's all powerful and moody, why would I like him?
He's supposed to be like infallible, you know what I mean? Like where it's just like, and then when he does make mistakes, it's supposed to be kind of like a big deal. It's like, dude, you're perfect. How did that happen? Like that's the whole point of his character, not to be like this humanized like. Yeah, I'm just like you guys. Oh, I get anxiety.
Him being sad when he's Superman and when he's not is just too much. Like you have to.
Much, yeah. I could take a sad Clark and a happy Superman, but I can't have both. Yeah.
Exactly. And like it would have done the movie so many favors if he at some point did put on his Clark alternate identity and he was able to be the dork that Christopher Reeve was in Superman.
Yeah. He's supposed to be a dork. That's why no one would like assume it's him.
Yeah, exactly. And
he's
even
a big,
like Christopher
muscular,
Reeves, like
super statuesque dork that doesn't do anything.
Christopher Reeve changes like his like shape or whatever when when he becomes Superman. Like he's hunched over and shit when he's just Clark Kent, and he's very dorky and
bad
unassuming.
Posture,
yeah. So I just if they gave us a little bit of that, we would have been like, oh, cool.
The switch from Superman to the Clark in the movies are just like he literally puts on a cape, and that's. That's the only. There's no personality difference or anything.
Yep, exactly. Poor Henry Cavill. I like the guy. Yeah,
but he's good, and he could bring it too.
Yeah,
like
Man
the
from
script.
Uncle, he was great in that. Yeah,
dude, he's so charming in that movie. Yeah. It's good. I really hope they give him a good script.
Great.
I really hope they give him a good script for The Witcher. Like, I honestly hope it doesn't shit the bed. So,
and there's potential for that to shit the bed.
It's gonna shit the bed hard.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed Watchmen a lot, and I haven't. It's tough for me to go back and watch it again because some of the faults in it are just like glaring. Like some of the dialogue is fucking trash, and also. Are
you saying Zack Snyder's not a good writer?
I think some of the dialogue that I don't like is not. Maybe it is from the graphic novel and it just doesn't translate well, or it's shit that he wrote himself to make it more cinematic. It had to be. Also, that and Malin Ackerman is like one of the worst performances in the world.
Malin Ackerman's an awful actress, and remember that whole time where she was like that stretch of time where she was in everything?
Yeah.
Stop that. Yeah, she's in a ton.
God, she was in so
much.
Even
when she's trying to be funny, like on like Children's Hospital, I'm like, stop.
Why is she in the show? Yeah, I was so confused. Who are you banging that you're in this show right now?
Right.
Sorry, that's terrible for me to say, but whatever.
She showed up in Entourage, and I was like, oh man, this show.
No. It's just like,
is she the crazy one that E dated?
No, she is Sloane's friend that proposes a threesome, and E is all awkward about it.
Yeah, I remember her. I remember her from that. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, she's literally there just to be hot. So that's kind of
seeing how Entourage is the show that taught me most of my life lessons. I remember that myself. Right? So
yeah, of course.
The coming of age show, Entourage. Everyone knows it.
No, absolutely. And accurate, too. It's a very accurate show.
Everything about it is accurate. It's exactly how Hollywood works.
And Glorious Bastards moves on. Sorry, Zack Snyder, but not really. You make shit later on anyway, so that's fine. All right. So number 12 seed, Fanboys. Oh, boy. Versus number 5 seed, 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah, I don't know what Fanboys is.
We could quick vote this, and shame on you, JD. You need to watch that movie.
Okay, I'm sorry. What's it about?
It's about these kids. These kids who are huge Star Wars fans, and one of their friends is like dying of cancer, so they stage an operation to break into Lucas Ranch to like steal Episode 1. So they can watch it for him, which is based off a real movie, a real news article or whatever. But like, obviously there's a lot of fictitious shit going on in here, and they run into Star Trek fans, and they have a war. It's just like a goofy, nerdy movie or whatever that Jeff hates. So
okay,
I think you'd like it. You might not love it, but you'd like it at least. It's relevant to your interests, and
sure.
They make so many jokes about how great Episode 1 and how imperfect and infallible it's going to be.
Oh my god!
Like, there's just all this like, there's just all this really
back
funny
when
stuff
there was hope.
Yeah. It's a really good movie, man. I think you'd enjoy it.
All right.
Yeah, you and Kyle, you and I have parallel feelings. We've discussed this in our.
We did, yes.
Chat. We have parallel feelings, but about 2 different movies.
Yeah. So like. That's how he feels about Hangover. Like it's just like it's a fun movie, it's
blah,
funny,
blah, blah. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't get that.
That's me with Fanboys. It's like I'm watching the jokes unfold, and I'm like, I know these are jokes. I'm just not laughing. I don't know what it is. So it's that's my reaction to Fanboys.
You would know and like everybody in the movie. Like Kristen Bell's in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What's
not Martin Starr. I almost said his name, but he's not in it. Seth Rogen's in it a few times.
Seth Rogen, yeah.
There's tons of cameos from people that you know in franchises too.
Yeah.
But Craig Robinson shows up too as like a security guard, and he's really funny.
The kid who acts like a director in Girl Next Door. That kid.
Oh, okay, the other one.
Yeah, he's the kid with the cancer.
Not Klitz.
Yeah. And who's the guy from Balls of Fury? He's
Dan Fogler. Yeah. He's
Fogler.
Fantastic Beast now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
That poor guy. Yeah.
Can't get out of a shitty franchise. That poor guy. I'm glued to this franchise.
But yeah,
movies?
500 Days of Summer. Like we could quick for the show.
Yeah, we're quick voting. It's 500
That's
Days. That was our number one like Valentine's Day or whatever the fuck love movie. I think that ended up winning.
It did.
I thought it won. Yeah, that's a win. That's an Entertainment of Champion winner right here in our bracket. Yeah, that's a champion.
That's a champion of champions right there.
Didn't get number one of this year somehow, but that's fine.
That's fine. That's okay. JD, he alleged that he had it in the correct order. He might be right. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
All right, so the next matchup is number 15 seed Up versus number 2 seed I Love You Man.
Ooh.
I mean, technically we shouldn't quick vote it because a lot of people would probably debate this, but because it's us, should we quick vote it?
I Love You Man is, we're definitely quick voting that.
Okay, cool.
We've talked about both of these movies at length recently with the Disney, the Pixar thing, and with the romance movies.
Yeah.
God, I do really like Up a lot.
Up is great.
I don't think it's in my honorable mentions. It's just at a certain point you kind of like run out of movies to even like reference in your honorable mentions, and Up is just one of those movies that like just outside of honorable mentions, I guess.
Up is one of those things that ever since we debated it, the only thing that lingers in my head is when we're talking about it, and it really is a great first 15 minutes, and that fucking lingers with me.
Yeah, and the rest of it's fun, but like, who cares?
I always viewed it as the whole, and I'm like, man, I love Up as a whole, but then once that idea got planted in my head, I'm like, God damn it, I'm not leaving. It's accurate, you know?
Yeah, everything that's happening, even when the kid is stuck outside and he's floating away, but as soon as they land in that weird like dinosaur fucking island or whatever, I'm kind of like, I'm not that I'm off board completely. It's still entertaining.
That's 100% how I feel.
Not as much.
That's why it still wasn't very high up in my Pixar list. Like I really enjoyed it. Did you get it, guys? That's why I still really enjoyed it. But like it wasn't. There's plenty of other ones that I like all throughout. You know.
Sure.
You know, that's why I hold Wonder Woman like at hostage sometimes because like the third act just like falls apart for me. So I'm just like, why couldn't the whole movie be good? You know?
Yeah, because it was fucking great up until that part.
Yeah, right. It was so good up until that.
And then you're like, oh.
And then Up is like a 2. I'm like, I am loving this. And then like 15 to 30 minutes in the dinosaur weird island thing, I'm like, where happened to all like the human emotion stuff?
Right.
Oh man, it could have gone so many different places that would have been like as emotionally resonant. That's a shame. But yeah, I Love You Man's moving on. We love that movie. It's another it's a runner up at least for a champion of champions in that bromance movies episode.
Yeah.
It was really close though. It got really fucking close.
It was a contender.
It was a contender. Could have been a contender. It was a contender. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. I apologize to Marlon Brando's soul or whatever. So number 10 seed Zombieland versus number 7 seed The Informant.
Oh shit!
I know these are very close in in terms of our rankings. JD and I at least.
That's literally my 10th and 11th movie. So.
Oh, that's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so we're actually gonna have to do a little random drawing here then. Number 1. God damn it, it's me again.
I told you it's gonna be Jeff.
Out for you, yeah.
It's gonna be Jeff the whole round.
Oh, this number generator's bullshit.
He's like, all these numbers in this cup just say 1. What the fuck?
Just using a website and hitting random. So yes, I am going to. I mean, I made the technically efficient argument with Up in the Air. I should probably do the same for The Informant. So I think I'm going to go with that one because I'm honestly splitting hairs at this point. These two are neck and neck in my list. They are like 8 or 9 and 10 or something like that.
Yeah,
they're 9 and 10 for me. They're really, really close. And Zombieland is higher in my list, but. I don't know, the humor kind of lands. I mean, I know it's different styles of humor, but I think they tickle me the same, and they're because they're very different styles of humor, both movies. Especially because like The Informant's more what the fuck humor,
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is happening? Is this
I
really
didn't really
happening
know
right now?
what type of movie I was watching until like the last 45 minutes of that movie. I was like, oh, this is like a comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
it
bringing
starts
it-
Like I was even telling
it's
JD, I was like, I don't know if everybody in this movie is an idiot or ignorant. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, ignorant or arrogant. Like, I can't tell. And it's
Yeah.
arrogant and stupid. Everybody in the movie is. Every single
Absolutely.
character.
And
Like,
what a
yeah.
like we brought up, like what a time to be watching this movie in with Juffy Smollett.
Oh,
Jesse
yeah,
or whatever.
absolutely.
I call him Juffy
yeah.
now because of your chat nickname.
Yeah,
from
my chat name
forever
is
ago.
Juffy, yeah.
Everybody's like, "Who the fuck you
'Cause I
talking
lie a
about,
lot.
Juffy?" I'm like, whatever.
Never mind.
But yeah, what an interesting time to deal with somebody just manufacturing their own demise,
Yeah,
like,
right.
one way or another. It's just fascinating to me, that level of
He even
pathological.
fakes being beat up, and I was just like, boy, this is relevant right now.
He
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then it
like he's like
escalating to the
limping into
wrong
his house.
people, kind of
Yeah.
like it did for Jesse, where it's like all the FBI people and shit are in on it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh shit, this went too far. Well, I'm gonna have to lie some more then."
Yeah, right. Just a habitual liar. This guy. It's just
Dude,
it was
it's
very
nuts.
it was very fun watching like it all just unfold. And I'm just like, what is wrong with this guy? He's pathological. Like he is so crazy.
It's pretty bananas, yeah.
I love the scene too with when you finally, and this is spoilers if you haven't seen the movie, so sorry. But
Real
when
life,
you
it really happened. So just go ahead.
that's true. Yeah, the shot of the parents, which were obviously still alive, like even though he told, I think
Yeah.
3 or 4 different characters
Yes,
about
yeah.
his
Yeah.
being adopted. The scene with them on the other end of the phone and the dad's just standing there. He's like, "Huh,
Yeah, and that's it.
that's weird." And then that's it. Like,
Yeah,
no
that's
wonder
it.
he became this like aloof, lying douchebag, because like you have no personality of your own. You're not in tune with anything, and he could just run amok and just do whatever he wanted under your nose, dude.
Yeah, right.
God, I totally forgot he lied about
No,
it.
no consequence at all. You know.
Yeah, because I picked it up. He's telling the story the exact same way every time, which that's not how people are. Like, unless you're like a stand-up
That's a
comedian.
rehearsed story. Yeah.
Yeah, when you tell like
I got a lucky break.
people,
Yeah.
and I caught a lucky break and got adopted by a wealthy blah blah blah. What was it, like a theme park guy? Or,
Yeah, the guy who owns theme parks and music parks. Yeah.
and he told it the exact same way every time. I'm like, all right, that's definitely a fabrication.
Yeah, right. Again, the guy's just like a pathological liar.
Yeah.
It was great. I love it. And the goofy, zany music. Oh my god.
Yeah, that
It's my
stood out to me
favorite.
so
Looney
much more.
Tune shit. It feels
Oh my
like.
god, yeah, burp, 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 just like trumpets and like just really goofy, like, and then like the bad guys would come in and like the tone would change, like,
Yeah.
but it's still super cartoonish
And all that like under monologues of random shit, like, did you know that polar bears put snow on their nose to camouflage themselves? I guess how does a polar bear know that the nose is the only part of his body that's black?
Yeah.
Maybe he just looks in the water and has reflections.
or it
Anyway,
sees other polar bears.
or sees other polar bears and then he knows. Anyway, so the thing about lysine.
And then
It's
it's like,
always some
yeah,
random
I just met
tangent.
him. We seem to get along pretty well. I could see us being friends, getting coffee.
could just write each other.
I was like, what? Like, just random dialogue. It's really
He's
getting into this guy like who he himself is aloof of the reality around him. Like he doesn't really get, like, I don't know. He's kind of creating his own reality and living in it, and it's what a weird fucking movie. I really loved it. So
Yeah,
Great.
same here. It's that one really surprised me, especially because like I've just like been listening to a lot of podcasts, specifically the CinemaSins podcast, where like they talk about this movie like a lot, like in terms of like they do that a lot with movies that they see all the time, and they're like, why don't more people talk about it? And this is one of those movies because this isn't really talked about often.
Yeah.
Even I think it got some love at the Oscars in terms of like maybe writing or something in terms of nominations, but outside of that, it's kind of like forgotten, a little bit, unfortunately. And it shouldn't be. And
it's a shame.
for damn
It's
sure,
pretty
yeah.
timeless. You can watch it now, and it's not like, oh, this movie's old.
No, not at all.
No, it's dated. It's more relevant than ever right now. Because corruption in business is still happening. It's a timeless concept, and again, like with the Smollett stuff, like it's just the amounts to this story, how it just keeps on getting crazier and crazier, and it seems to all be based off of lies and stuff like that, allegedly. That's just, it's good. Everyone go watch that shit.
Yeah, it's
I love
fucking
how
great.
like conspiracy theorists and stuff rely on this level of like precision intelligence from these organizations that are supposed to be running and controlling everything and doing evil. And I've always been one that's like, yeah, I think ineptitude is really more the cause between a lot of this shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Corporate.
that's
I mean,
the
it's
connective
greed.
tissue,
It's
not-
greed and ineptitude. It's not everybody's as smart as you think they are. A lot of them are just greedy and stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. Willfully
Well,
ignorant.
I think Kyle put it best when it was kind of like when it starts out, you're kind of like, oh, this is like almost like a political thriller. It feels like, where it's kind of like, oh, the FBI's in on this now, and then
right.
Yeah, they're kind of making him like he's going to Hawaii and he's an informant for the FBI. Like, this is kind of interesting.
Yeah, and then like when
but
the
like
FBI,
it's still goofy. The music's always there. Like, I should have caught on a little quicker, but like, boy. I didn't realize how goofy it was until like more than halfway through the movie. I was like, oh my god, okay.
And it's got one of the best posters ever of Matt Damon looking stupid as shit.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, that's my vote. So which one? Actually, let me roll. Let me roll the dice here. It's JD again. Kyle's never gonna get the
Is
vote.
it just gonna go 1, 2, 3 this whole time?
Yeah, I guess it's not me.
Wow.
So where do you vote?
Yeah, I think I think it's one of those. I might have ranked based off of like kind of how I felt more at the time, but like I'm watching The Informant recently with fresh eyes, adult eyes, better movie eyes. I feel like it feels like a Coen Brothers movie. We talked about that, so I love that style. I didn't appreciate that back then. Like I'm pretty sure I red boxed this movie, put it on, thought it was boring, and forgot about it. And that's just the dumb type of movie viewer I was. So yeah, back then Zombieland is totally going to catch my attention more because there's different shit going on. But yeah, I think I appreciate all these elements of The Informant that we've been discussing a little bit more now. So I'm going to go with that.
All right, well, Informant moves on. Kyle, would you have voted for Informant too?
Well, it doesn't even matter, does it? Informant actually knocked Zombieland out of my list, so yeah, I would have gone with it.
Wow. Good for Informant, man, coming in the dark horse a little bit. Zombieland's very entertaining, though, and
Zombieland's awesome.
I'm a sucker for like horror comedies, especially when they're done well and surprising, because Zombieland came out, felt like little fanfare, honestly, up until like people were telling me in my circles, like, no, just trust me, you should see that movie. I know it's got like a dumb title or whatever, but like,
it's really fun.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, it's just really, really funny. And Woody Harrelson is just being the best Woody he can be in this one.
Absolutely.
He's having the time of his life in this movie.
Yep.
And Eisenberg is a perfect choice, too, for like the main protagonist, who's just otherwise, when the apocalypse, it doesn't really matter who you were before, but just
you got Emma Stone and you got like Little Miss Sunshine Girl, and like it's got
they're perfect too in the movie.
So,
and the Bill Murray thing was just obviously the highlight of the movie. That everybody talks about.
Love that scene.
I can't wait for the second one, dude. I know that there's diminishing returns for comedy sequels, but I am genuinely excited because they got everybody back, like the same writers.
Right. Yeah, the whole everyone's back.
The same director. The writers wrote Deadpool. Like these guys have success outside of this movie, and they are relatively in demand in terms of their abilities. So I would expect them to have turned out like a pretty good second one. They did for Deadpool, so why not? I'm excited for that. It's coming this year. We may have to explore I don't know enough zombie movies to be able to explore the genre for a tournament, but we should try that someday, I guess.
We know there are definitely enough zombie movies to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I just need to brush up on some then, because I guess it's like a genre that I'm kind of like.
Most George A. Romero ones are good up to a certain point, and most of the remakes of those are pretty good up to a certain point. So there's
interesting. Well, I'm gonna have a lot of homework to do on that.
I could throw you some examples too, or I could make a list and throw you that list.
Hell yeah!
I love zombie movies. Are like I had a huge phase like in my 20s, just watching like as many Evil Dead you could count.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. All of those are good. Yeah.
Oh my God, what's the one with Rodney Piper? Oh my God,
They Live. I haven't seen that.
Thank God, you have to watch it. It's so good. Yeah,
I do,
it's so great.
Especially because I love Roddy Piper. He's just one of the best to ever step foot in that ring, man. I love that guy. Informant moves on. The next round is Adventureland, number 14 seed versus number 3 seed Moon. It's another quick vote, I assume.
Quick vote, big time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moon's going forward then, I guess, because we're all kind of Anyway, watching Adventureland again very recently, for the first time it felt like a very long time since I'd seen the movie. There was just a lot to relate to, and even though I'd never worked in that environment of working in like a whatever the fuck amusement park, there was just like in terms of the relationships and the dynamics that were displayed in the movie. Yeah, dude, that was just so much my life,
Yeah,
so much. Of
absolutely.
That. The only part that kind of like bothered me about the movie is like he and Kristen Stewart never said explicitly they were exclusive. So when he catches her sleeping with Ryan Reynolds, who's married, but I guess you could be upset about that part, but he's acting all beside himself, and it's like, dude, you never fucking like had the conversation like once, so
Right.
you know, pump the brakes a little bit. But the movie doesn't portray him that way as like being the irrational one for you being upset. You know, it portrays her as being overly apologetic. You know, but you know that's at the time the movie came out, and especially the time period that it occurred in. His anger towards her makes sense in that moment, so you can't get too mad about that.
When people get like that too, maybe we
because we're that age too. Yeah, especially. I just
you get jealous. That. Yeah, if guys are territorial and shit, you get jealous.
Right, for sure. yeah. Even though you're not like official or anything, you're still like, what are you doing?
What's going on, man? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to lose this good thing. I know I'm shit.
Come on, man. Yeah, I didn't know you were gonna figure it out that quick.
And then he goes on a date with that insanely hot chick. I don't know the actress's name, but she was in this, and I don't know what else she's been in either. I'm the worst encyclopedia in the world.
You got me there.
But you know the girl who's like got an accent. She's like chewing gum all the time, and he goes on a date with her to try to make Kristen Stewart jealous. God, she's ridiculously attractive. Anyway, that date was incredibly awkward. There's just a lot between the relationships of the characters that resonates, I think. Even with his parents, who are just kind of like, that's all you're going to do is work there. That's all you're going to do. And I don't know. Just something about it reminded me of my Ute.
Your Ute?
It's a good movie. If you guys haven't watched it in a while, you guys are listeners. Definitely recommend it.
It's been a bit for me.
Yeah, it's been probably like 5 years, I think, maybe.
Yeah. It's good. And Bill Hader is so fucking funny in it. He's so funny. He's clearly shocking. Improvising, yelling at people on the megaphone.
You're really ratcheting up the shocking value here. I can't believe he's funny in something. Get out of here.
But he's doing this thing where he's like improvising shit that he's yelling at people on the megaphone. Like, don't you dare! You pick that up and you throw that in the trash, sir. And he's yelling it on the megaphone and like, I'm gonna beat you up or whatever. Like, and you can see like in the background, Kristen Wiig is laughing at him because he's just making shit up on the fly. Oh my god, he is so good in the movie. I think this is a director of Superbad too. If you want name recognition on this one,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, same dude. Good shit.
Yeah, they should really give that Bill Hader guy like a TV show or something.
Yeah, I know.
If only somebody had the gumption to do that.
Yeah.
Fucking cowards. Anyway, Moon moves on. I just had to vamp about Adventureland a little bit because I do love that movie. It's not really newfound love, but it was renewed certainly when I watched it again.
I own the DVD of that movie, so I can watch it when
it is.
Can go down and watch it right after this.
So we're at the point in the tournament where it's the battle of two Kyle favorites. One of them JD and I love too, but so that'll tell you which way we're probably leaning. Number 11 seed, World's Greatest Dad.
Okay.
Versus number 4. Sorry, not number 4. Already did that. Number 6 seed, District 9.
Oh.
Yeah, 6 seed, District 9. 6-9.
All right.
6 District 9. Got a little 6-9 sandwich.
So,
there.
Jeff, are you going first this round too?
Yes.
Oh my god! I swear to God, if random.
That's my number 7 and my number 8 movie, by the way.
Oh my god, JD's first. Yay!
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Wow, me.
It's just going between me and you. God damn it! This thing sucks. Let me try a different website before we do this.
You know, the situational irony is that Kyle was so adamant about being number 3.
I know. Well, look at me.
Picked.
Yep, I'm never getting picked. So whatever.
Well, I'm gonna make this one quick because I've never seen World's Greatest Dad, so it's District 9 for me. I'll just leave that one.
Can you fucking see that movie, man? It's fucking good.
Yeah, I know it's Robin Williams, and I should because, I love Robin Williams.
What are you saving that movie for? That movie's not going to make you happy about Robin Williams being
I just really don't respond to doing anything unless people yell at me, so I just figured this is kind of accomplishing that. I'm going to start it right now.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It's one of my favorite Robin Williams movies. I really like this whole role for him. And Bobcat Goldthwait movies are just strange.
Bobcat. That's where we've talked about it most recently is when we're talking about Bobcat.
Yeah.
I knew it had come up at some point.
Oh god. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Oh god.
Like nobody can do his voice. It's impossible. Only he can do his voice. I'm sure there's something.
You guys y'all need to both see Windy City Heat because that's the best Bobcat movie. So.
Okay. All right.
No promises. Actually, you know what? Never gonna see a movie you recommend. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a really good comedy. And it's a documentary, or a real documentary about tricking a guy into thinking that he's in a famous movie, but he's not. It's a giant publicity, like it's a giant like trick on this guy who thinks he's becoming famous, and he's like shooting this really important movie, and like oh my god, the dude from the Man Show's in it. Jimmy Kimmel is one of the brains behind the entire movie, and Bobcat, and they keep on taking him on like Tonight shows, and it's all this elaborate like prank, and it's so fucking funny, and it's a real prank, like it's a real, almost kind of like a Jackass movie, kind of, if you will.
Well, shit, man. I'll add it to my list.
Yeah, it's Bobcat's best. You guys, and everyone like with any sort of like comedic, like Joe Rogan, all that stuff. Everyone, they're always like, that's my favorite comedy movie of all time. Like, so that's mine. So don't. That's not my recommendation, but like people have held it to that esteem or whatever.
I'm believing you less the more you talk about it. All
Great.
right. No, I'm just kidding. I'll see it.
let me say one more thing about. No, I'm kidding.
Kyle, you're gonna. I'm not even rolling anymore. This rolling thing backfired. So Kyle, you're next.
Okay. Oh fuck. Shit. Well,
because if I go, it's District 9, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
Because it's just been JD and I fucking voting every time we roll.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
This is not
really
right.
hard. These are really hard. I would say that World's Greatest Dad, I really want to push that, but there's no reason I'm pushing it because one of us hasn't seen it. So, and District 9 I just watched that last night, and actually it came down on my list because of rewatching it. So I don't know. I don't know if it's such a great one to pass forward either. I forgot there was a mech scene, which was in the trailer. How could you forget that part? So when I was watching that, I was like, oh yeah, this whole part's like really cool or whatever. And a lot of the movie is still really great, and like what the government does to that character is just disgusting. And it's a really good movie. But shit, I think I'm just gonna go to District 9. Just make it easy.
Doesn't make it easy on the next round, that's for sure. I went ahead and just mapped out who's going next, so we don't do the rolling thing anymore because that's a fucking nightmare.
World's Greatest Dad is great though. Like, go and fucking watch it.
It is good. It's really good, and it's different. Let's just say it's a different kind of tragedy.
Yeah,
it's definitely a different kind. It goes in directions that you do not expect.
Yeah, absolutely.
But honestly, that's kind of just the way life is. It's sometimes there are shitty people, and sometimes they're your son. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Sometimes it just shakes out that way, and you gotta.
Yeah, and you're a good person, and you know how he ended up that way. Yeah,
no, exactly. And you're like, how the fuck did this happen? Oh man, his son's a piece of shit. But that's where a lot of the humor is, though. Is he's just being a normal dad, and his son's like, shut the fuck up, Dad. God, like it's so
kill
wild
yourself,
how
Dad.
aggressive he is. God. Yeah, that movie is really definitely worth a watch. I watched it on Hulu. I think that's where it can be found. So yeah, we're moving into the quarterfinals, and I actually mapped out the order this time, and we're doing the alternating order again. We're back in the comfort zone. So the quarterfinals, Up in the Air versus The Wrestler. Technically, could quick vote this, but I'm first on this one, and I'm going with The Wrestler. JD, what's your vote?
So hold on, we course corrected.
Yes,
and you still so the first one that you chose, we just picked us going first again?
Yeah, because I would have gone last in the last round anyway. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you went first in the last round, so you're going second in this
round. At least throw Kyle a bone and have him go first once to start it, but whatever. I'm on Team Kyle. That's all I'm trying to say.
I'm pushing it the way based on who went first.
I know. I'm being dumb.
Oh my god, why do you hate me? And my music. It's just this long con with you.
I mean, the music. We'll just talk about it later. I love the song though. Or do I?
No, you don't.
Anyway, all right. So it's Up in the Air and what?
The Wrestler.
The Wrestler. Yeah, it's The Wrestler.
That's kind of what I thought.
I hate that it's that easy.
Sorry, Kyle, you don't get to vote for Up in the Air. I know you wanted to. Anyway, it's probably J-O-ing right now. Anyway.
I didn't even mute myself. I don't know how that happened. I've been talking this entire time. I'm like, what the fuck?
So happens when you J-O during the podcast.
I think I took a bite like 5 minutes ago and never unmuted myself.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, dude. Sorry you don't get to vote for your favorite Clooney movie, Up in the Air, which you've totally seen.
Yeah, well, I'm really sad that there's not a movie with guitars in it this year for y'all to just choose and fuck up the entire list. So.
Never gonna let 2 years now.
Yeah,
So
2 years he's been droning on about this.
Now my goal for every one of these retro lists is to just find a movie with guitars
Just a
regardless
random
of quality.
one. It's like, well,
Just-
and you know what I like about this movie, guys? In one scene, somebody
They
picks
went
up
to a guitar shop.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. When did The Rocker come out with Dwight Schrute?
Oh, that was like
I'm pretty sure
2007?
someone picks up a guitar in 500 Days of Summer. So
Yeah, you could be right. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
yeah. Inglourious Bastards. I'm pretty sure the Jew hunter picks up a guitar when he's talking to that milk farmer.
Oh yeah.
In Star Trek, I'm pretty sure Spock picks up a ukulele at
I
least.
Love You Man has fucking the Rush thing. God damn it.
Oh yeah, totally, exactly. We're trying to
took
make
us a
up
while.
scenes. Yeah.
Yep.
There's a whole fucking thing about guitar.
whole
Slap in the
thing.
chaos.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Stop into BS. Oh my God, it's so
Low
good.
hanging fruit.
Come on.
We'll get there. Wrestler,
It'll be
moving
number
on. The next round is Inglourious Bastards versus 500 Days of Summer.
Ooh.
This is misery in a fucking bracket right here.
There's
right.
always one like fight like in every
Why?
one. I didn't know what was gonna happen, and now that it's happening, I'm like, yeah, I hate that we do this at
Backpedal,
all.
yeah. I hate what we do. Who came up with this concept? Yeah.
Yeah.
We woke up early for this.
How do you fight these two movies?
I don't. Yeah, they're totally similar in regards. There's so
It's
much
about
love
battling
between them.
for the things that you love, I guess.
Jesus, man.
Just on different battlefields.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Boom, nailed it. Kyle, you're actually first in this one since you would have been.
Yeah,
last on the
fuck
last
you.
one.
I don't understand why you give me the hardest one. You're like, Kyle, this is the one time you're going to go first this entire on the hardest one.
You got one more time. You go first.
Great. That's perfect. It'll probably be a hard one else also. Oh, okay, so, wow. I'll tell you, I probably have seen 500 Days of Summer more just because it's not 3 hours long.
Yeah, Inglourious is long, dude.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like Inglourious is like really well paced. I think there are a couple slow moments or whatever, but it's always like the dialogue's always really good and everything's really engaging. And I love the faux history in that movie. It
Dude, me too.
so
Yeah.
much. Buongiorno. Nothing like that in 500 Days of Summer. Shit, this is a lot harder than I thought it'd be. There are not a lot of like romantic, and this is a Champions movie we're talking about here.
Yes.
500 Days of Summer, and there's just not a lot of movies out there that like are identifiable guy rom-com movies, and this is definitely one of them. But like it's more for us than it is for them. For guys versus girls in that regard. So I think I'm going to go 500 Days of Summer just because there's not a lot of there's not a lot of movies that really stand out on that front where girls get a lot of really hammy like romantic movies, and this is like a real romantic movie. I feel like treats like the relationship's kind of realistic and all from the guy's perspective, which is kind of like refreshing. So
I love you, man.
I'm gonna go 500 Days of Summer.
I love you, man.
Hey, that's a movie. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we're not talking about that one right now, Judy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was just saying it.
Oh,
That's
I love you, man.
Makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I don't want
I love you,
or
man.
need JD's love, I'm going with Inglourious Bastards. I am next in this one.
I don't love you, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the sequel. I don't love you, man.
I don't love you, man.
Yeah. You know what? In fact, I think I'm second guessing this relationship is the sequel.
Yeah.
It's like this
Why
very
are we
long
friends?
title. Yeah. Why? Who invited you? Actually, the better title would be "Fucking That Guy's Here."
Yep. Get out of my
right.
JO station.
Yeah. So I'm for real going with Inglourious Bastards.
Okay.
It's not just something I ranked higher. It's just I just think the filmmaking is, and they're both completely. Obviously, they're different stylistically. The directors are auteurs in their own right, but they have completely different styles. But I just think the style in Inglourious Bastards is more gratifying, and this is
that
where
director-
subjectivity kind of comes in a little bit because
The director of Inglourious Bastards went on to do good things, and with the director of 500 Days of Summer has made bad Spider-Man movies, isn't that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so there's
That's
that
true.
Yeah.
And then like nothing but family movies after that are good, but like, come on, we've seen them before, you know.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, man, what happened, dude? He has so much
What the
potential.
fuck happened?
What happened? But yeah, I did love the alternate history stuff, especially because we'd seen so fucking many World War II movies, and this was kind of like I don't know, like a steroid shot in the butthole. Wait, do they do it there? I don't think they do it there. But in terms of the genre.
Near the butthole, yeah. I mean, I can confirm with my many butt operations that I've performed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's around the butthole.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But it just feels like, just like a steroid shot that the genre needed, in my opinion. Because it's just totally goes balls to the wall and does not care who it leaves behind. And I get it. It's not going to be for everybody when it does that, but it's definitely for me. Also, Christoph Waltz, career-making performance right there.
Oh, yeah.
And he's probably been at it for a while in Germany, but hey, nobody fucking knew you until Tarantino grabbed you, so... fucking amazing in this movie.
He's great.
I think in the first scene alone with him and the French milk farmer who's hiding Jews in the basement or whatever you want to call it, thing that's under the house. It's not really a basement. It's just literally
just a hideaway.
Gap.
It's a crawl space, yeah.
Yeah. So like that scene alone is. I can honestly just use that as a justification for voting for that one over 500 Days because that.
Sure.
It's just tension upon tension, like switching all the stuff that Jew Hunter is like choosing to do to make him do. Like, is it cool if we switch to English? Can you get me a glass of milk? It's like, dude, he's there for one reason, and he's very certain he knows where those the Jewish people are hiding. So I don't know, man. It's just the dialogue is so fucking good there, and I'm terrified of Christoph Waltz's like charm in that entire scene. And he is oozing charm, too, despite being one of the most evil people ever. Probably the most evil person ever. And then he becomes very self-serving at the end, which is kind of strange for him, but whatever, that's fine. It's still a good choice. Anyway, I love the movie so much, and Buongiorno, and Arrivederci, and shit like that.
Arrivederci.
It's just brilliant. Those are brilliant reads from Brad Pitt when that wasn't even in the script, and he's just like fucking, reading it in his accent. God, it's so good. I don't know why Tarantino had to choke Diane Kruger for real. That's a little strange.
Oh yeah, that is.
This is the movie where you totally faked history and had us think, that Hitler was gunned down in a theater. But that one actress, you got to choke her for real. Okay, dude.
She liked method acting.
Yeah, it's really strange choice. I'm sure tons of directors would not have done that, but. Whatever, it's still a great movie, and Diane Kruger is not like resentful towards him about that. So, just kind of leave it alone. Leave it alone, people that like to bag on Tarantino.
I haven't heard that one before, and I feel like every movie has a bag on Tarantino moment. So.
Oh, they do, yeah. If it's not the N word or whatever, then it's choking.
Say the what word?
The word. The
okay, I'm sorry. You don't have to double back.
Okay, my bad.
Shit.
Wow. Let's take a turn. Just wait until we talk about Django when I actually get to say the word. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say the word, guys. I'm not
Django.
Racist. I'm not racist, guys. Anyway, JD, what's your voice? Sorry, what's your
vote?
I
don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
Word.
Man, I honestly didn't think I was going to get a chance to vote in this round. I'm kind of
500 days.
surprised.
Are you serious?
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh man, yeah. It's I don't see how you can compare these two movies. Like,
I'm sorry.
They're completely fucking different. So, I mean, I guess my logic in my own ranking is I had 500 at 2 and Inglourious at 3, and really for me it's a ease of access factor. And it's a relatability factor as well. I mean, I can watch 500 Days of Summer like every fucking day. I could watch that movie all the time, and I've watched it way more than Inglourious Bastards. Even though there are so many elements of Inglourious Bastards, like Jeff just mentioned, that I appreciate as like the greatness in film, like regardless of genre, like there are just really, really awesome moments in that movie. But for me personally, it's 500 Days of Summer is like probably a top 15, 20 all time. I don't know. I don't have my stuff ranked out properly. And I'm not saying that's like objective. That's just a personal movie that I related to at the time that it came out, and I've watched it a shit ton ever since.
Yeah.
So that's why I have it ranked so high. And yeah, man, I'm sorry to Inglourious Bastards. I didn't think that was gonna get out of here this early, but
wow. We all hate Tarantino on this podcast.
And I love Tarantino. Like I just feel like this is probably the one. Yeah, I do.
I forgot that we were choosing objectively, and yeah, I may have fucked up that round. So sorry.
No, I mean it's.
You're not wrong about ease of access, though. It's definitely a more accessible movie. Like I could see less people bitching about 500 Days than the.
Yeah, I mean it's an hour. It's an hour and a half, and you know.
Yeah.
It is one of those movies
that's a relatable
that's
topic, dude. It's
yeah. It's if you're a guy and you've ever dated anybody at all at any period of time in your life, you know, if you've gone through that process, this movie kind of it hits me every time, regardless of where I am in life. It just hits me every time. I don't know why.
I think you mean irregardless. I'm just kidding. That's not a word.
Yeah, irregardless. Yes, you're right. That's correct.
I love correcting people with that.
And they're like, yeah, sure, right. And you're like, oh, wait, but no.
Wait, yeah, I wanted you to laugh because I was wrong.
All words are made up.
So 500 Days moves on. Not mad about it. It was in my top 5, and the movie's relatable as shit, man.
Just one of those weird matchups, man. Where I just.
Oh yeah, but that's why. That's the
show,
whole. Yeah, exactly. That's the show. That's the entire reason we do it. Is like
literally
let's
the
put
DNA
these
of the
movies
show.
that have no business fighting each other against each other, and then to try to debate it seriously, because it makes no sense to do that. But that's why we do it. It's because it makes no sense.
Indeed.
All right. So the next matchup is Newfound Love, The Informant, versus Old Found. That's not a word. Old Love, and Still Current Love. I Love You Man.
Ooh.
This is technically, I feel like this could be a quick vote.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. JD hates this movie, so
yeah, that's true. It's a good point. He did put it at like 6,
like
7 or 6 or yeah.
God, you hate it so much.
I really do.
Yeah.
How low can you go? Bud?
Yeah, I know,
I
man.
mean, I thought about 8, but
Hey, JD, do you like laughing at all? Because why do you have it?
no, I like crying profusely, which is why I'm a 500 Days of Summer fan. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Wait, that movie's not happy?
No. It's hopeful.
It is perfect, though. That's for sure. I'll tell you that.
Kind of hopeful. Or it's just the cyclical nature of destructive relationships.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah. Go watch Annihilation, people. That'll blow your mind on that front.
Whew. So, hey, JD, what's your vote for this round? I can't remember what I just said. Informant versus
your
I Love You Man. Yeah. I was about to say your mama, but that makes no sense.
I mean, does the new love outweigh the guy love? I don't think so.
Between two guys?
Between two guys? Yeah, I don't think much is going to get in the way of I Love You Man for me in The Informant. So I'm going to go with I Love You Man. I Love You Man.
Oh, man. Kyle, what's your vote? Sorry, I got a mouthful of food.
Oh, shit. I'm going to go I Love You Man as well. I really like The Informant. It is a new love, but I Love You Man is like a great fucking comedy, and it's so good. I really, really enjoy that movie, and I'm going to have to save a lot of ammo for it for incoming rounds.
Yeah, you'll catch it later on the Man Jay. So that would have been my vote, too, honestly. Informant is in my 10 for a reason and made it this far in the tournament for a reason, too. It's a really good movie, but... God, how many times have we seen I Love You Man now? Like, I remember in 2009 especially, or like that.
It's in every list. I feel like it's been in our list like 4 times in the last year. So,
the last like 3 episodes, because we only do like a few episodes nowadays. But like, that movie, I remember when it first came out, like, seeing it like 3 times in theaters or something like that. And then like, just quoting it nonstop for the next 2 years around people. And then like even 5 years later, I was at a gig and somebody just started quoting it randomly. And that's how we became friends. Like I was at like this gig in the band that like opened for or not opened, I'm sorry, I opened for, just started fucking quoting it, and now we're friends on Facebook and shit. Like it's just
fucking
it starts friendship.
Badass.
And it's like it was like an obscure quote too. It was like Jon Favreau yelling, "That's not cool, get the fuck out." And I was like, "Is that I Love You Man?"
That's funny.
Oh man. Stones or Beatles on 3. 3, 2, I fold. Shut the fuck up, who cares? That's one of my favorite moments. Oh, fuck. Anyway, I Love You Man moves on. And the next matchup is the sci-fi juggernaut battle. It's District 9 versus Moon.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit, I start this one. So I'm going to go with Moon.
Yep.
Wow.
On this one.
Yep.
Good choice. Okay, cool. And it's not for any. I don't think there's any downside really to District 9. It's a great movie. It's a great first film. It's a career again, another career-making performance from Charles Mr. Potter. So it's a great performance from him. It's just very aloof in the beginning and stuff like that, and kind of treated like a loser and stuff. It's conceptually in the sci-fi genre. You can find some. I can't name any off the top of my head, but I'm sure you could find some other similar. Man becomes thing that society hates stories. The Fly, right. I guess. I don't fucking know. Right. But like you could find that kind of story. So I guess I'm going with Moon for originality because I'd never seen a story like that before when I watched that movie. When it first came out too. I don't know that there is any story that's kind of like that, where it's like
not quite like that.
Let's just send clones out to mine shit on the moon because why use actual people?
Right.
And what's really, really cool about that too is like he screened this shit for NASA, Duncan Jones did, and NASA values that movie as being accurate in terms of mining stuff on the moon. What's the stuff called on the moon? I can't remember what it's called. I know
it's helium H3 or like
Thank
helium.
You. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, that's exactly a resource that we would use and how we would try to mine it, and like there's certain things about it, like they did like a Q&A and somebody brought up like how the space station was maybe something that they were thinking of doing or conceiving of or doing drawings of at NASA. So it's just fucking wild how accurate that movie is, and nobody everybody. I feel like that part's kind of glossed over.
We just don't have we don't have artificial gravity down yet. That's the only real sci-fi aspect to that entire base. Everything else, I heard the same thing was practical, and the machine that follows him around, the
GERT.
That's how it would be. It's like an on track with a hand, and I don't know if the smiley face would really be like that, but that's kind of like what AI, like what we're kind of going towards. Even like in present day, it's not
even though it was
humanoids.
AI, it was still something that had a mission embedded in it to serve the person that it's with the entire time, even if what it's doing is flying in the face of NASA orders or something.
Yeah, right. Well, I think it's Prime Directive, if you want to talk about coding stuff, is the safety of Sam Rockwell's character. So that means kind of going against a lot of the tenets that NASA set, probably in its coding.
I guess it's not really NASA. It's like its own corporation. That's why he goes back to blow the whistle on them. And when you're watching a movie too, it's kind of, that's what I love about sci-fi movies like this, is like it kind of creates an internal discussion about clones and the treatment of clones, where like the movie ends and you're like, well, at least I wasn't a real person. And then you're like, wait, what did I just say? Like, it's still kind of shitty, Like, it's still kind of shitty what they're doing to him, even though he's not the real Sam Bell.
They're designed to die, after 3 years. It's that, which is, by the way, a very Metal Gear Solid storyline. These clones were built in with recessive genes to have them break down after a certain time, so they can't be used for any other purpose. And it's a total Metal Gear Solid, story arc.
That's fucking crazy. I didn't know that.
So, that part, I'm like, fuck yes! That really stands out to me. I'm a big cheerleader of that for sure.
I'm sure he maybe, I don't know what type of Metal Gear Solid might have been out around this time, or if that plotline.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid's been out since 1999. So
if that plotline had already been explored, I'm sure Duncan Jones drew inspiration from it.
I had to have. He's a huge gamer nerd, so I totally buy that. Absolutely.
Warcraft, I mean, there's a reason he directed that.
It's funny, we're talking about Metal Gear Solid, and my cell phone just went off, and that was a Metal Gear Solid sound. So
yeah, I heard that, and I started hiding behind a crate. I don't know where I got
my vote is for Moon, and I'm glad Kyle approves. JD, what's your vote on this one?
I mean, these two were very much. I think they were right next to one another for me. I put District 9 at 4.
I think same for me too. Yeah.
Just because I rewatched it, I kind of fell in love with it again. It had been a long time. I didn't get to rewatch Moon before this, and I haven't since Mute. I can't remember if I watched it leading up to that or not, but if I had, I mean, it's probably just a matter of mood on any given day, which one I would rank above the other. But I agree, from an originality standpoint, there's nothing like Moon. There's no other movie like it. So even though I appreciate what District 9 did with, I still can't believe that movie got made for $30 million.
I still can't believe that movie looks good today. Yeah. When he gets into the robot and starts blasting people, I'm like, this scene holds the fuck up.
Absolutely. It really, really, it stood out to me for sure. I mean, I knew it was going to be behind my list anyway, but Yeah, District 9 was great, and I don't know which one. I've probably watched them about the same amount. So yeah, Moon for originality. I agree.
Oh, cool, awesome, and I'm sure Kyle would have voted the same way.
No, District 9. I actually disagree.
Yeah, and I never put the Metal Gear thing together, so you're kind of blowing my mind with that.
No, I definitely would have gone Moon. There's a lot of really cool concepts. Like the District 9 kind of like at some point stops relying on its sci-fi and starts leaning into action, which is fine. It's not a I
actually love that it blends.
That's not a negative thing at all. It's not a negative thing. It's just an observation or whatever. But like, because it's really well done. I love the action getting into the base to steal the stuff, and then back like in the slum area was really nice. But like the Moon is just kind of a chatty, just relies on just its sci-fi tenets and concepts and stuff like that, and it's never boring. It's always super engaging, and Sam Rockwell acting off himself is like so fucking great.
And you can still appreciate Kevin Spacey because it's just his voice. It's not actually him.
Yeah. I forgot that was him. I'm going District 9. So
you got me too'd, Moon.
I forgot that was him. Too. Yeah, well, the robot. I was like, man, his voice sounds really familiar. Yeah, I forgot about that.
We got movie Redacted is now in the semifinals.
Yeah, right.
Shit.
Who took over from in that movie? Was he available to re-voice over for that movie?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's just his voice. You know, you don't have to look at him.
Yeah, it's not like a Seven thing where it's like, well, Kevin Spacey's in that, so we can't really fucking talk about that a whole lot because who's to say he's not?
Fuck that. Seven's awesome. Fuck that.
Yeah, the movie that transcends him. So Moon, man, Moon. Surprisingly, not just about mooning people and showing people's asses.
You go to that Moon and you tell him.
You bring the Moon back to him. Okay, I'm sorry. And you tell him he's a good director.
These movies in the this is like the most not obscure is not the word I'm looking for. Maybe eclectic is the word I'm looking for. 4 semifinalists we've ever had fight each other. Like these movies make no sense fighting each other.
It's not like Avatar versus.
Yeah. So the semifinal, the first one we have is The Wrestler versus 500 Days of Summer. Like so. This makes no sense. This makes no sense at all. So Kyle, what's your vote on this one?
I just went first. What happened? I'm going first again? This is the hard one you were talking about. I really don't like you. Yeah. Okay, so it's The Wrestler versus 500 Days of Summer. 2 other movies that have no business fighting each other. God damn. You know, I haven't seen The Wrestler in a long time, but it made a really big impression on me when I first saw it.
Same.
And I love Darren Aronofsky. I've seen all of his movies except for his Russell Crowe boat movie because I just refused to. So sorry.
That's the best way to describe that movie.
The Russell Crowe boat movie. Yeah. I think Hermione is there for whatever reason. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
And no one likes her. She's like, everyone hates her. I was like, no one would do that. Everyone loves her. That's stupid. Let's see. God damn. I'm probably going to have to go Wrestler on this one. I really like 500 Days of Summer, but it's probably going to get murked in this round. But like the Wrestler it's so raw and it's so like I could buy that this is exactly how a wrestler's on that level's like life is like day to day, you know, and just the relationship with his daughter. And there are so many like just emotionally high points in this movie that really just break you and your fortitude and everything. I think I have to go Wrestler. I think it's almost a perfect movie, to be honest.
I totally disagree. Wrestler sucks dick, and I'm voting for 500 Days.
Well, you don't even like wrestling, Jeff, so that's
I hate wrestling so much.
Seriously.
So I'm next, and I'm just going to say that the only thing that keeps The Wrestler from being an honest-to-God documentary is the fact that Mickey Rourke and Marissa Tomei and her boobs are in it. Swear to God, the thing that you'll most commonly hear about this movie, commentary-wise from like people in the industry of wrestling, is that this is the most accurate depiction of that industry that you could possibly put on screen. So it's getting a ton of points for that, man. Like it's getting so many fucking points for that from me. And yeah, in terms of like technically speaking, like it's just the way that he shot it, almost like a documentary. It just felt very different for Aronofsky because, you know, before or after this was Black Swan. I was about to say that it was before this, but I know Requiem was before this. Pi, of course. Oh shit, I can't remember what else was before this, but I know he's made movies in the interim, and I know I've seen them. But this one just felt,
I think.
yeah, The Fountain. You're right. So like, this one just didn't. I don't know. It didn't feel like his movie. You know what I mean? It felt like something that another filmmaker made. But this just shows you the range that he's capable of. That he can just be like, okay, I'm going to do high concept, like really, really high concept, the sci-fi like The Fountain, or this super, super depressing and gritty Requiem for a Dream, or I could just shoot this like wrestling movie that's almost feels like a documentary. It does feel like a documentary crew is following that guy around, you know. It's just unbelievable to see what he was capable of. And yeah, this movie was like 2008 or something like that. That is said on IMDb, but if you drill down, you can see it came out in January of 2009. So suck it, everybody. That's like, why is it up here? Yeah. Yeah, that's the one I'm voting for, and it's kind of easy for me, honestly. Sorry to 500 Days. You know what? No, I'm not sorry. I take it back.
It's okay.
Fuck that movie.
No, it's okay.
Fucking sucks dick.
It's okay. No, it's fine.
I guess the only person I can apologize to is JD.
Yeah, but
Zoe Deschanel is so mean in that movie.
She just doesn't know what she wants, and she says that from the beginning. Okay? It's Tom's fault.
Yeah, it's his expectations. He projected that.
Yep.
I'm glad that he's a flawed dude.
Exactly.
Because that's what we are in our relationships naturally. So like,
yep. Every bad decision that he makes in one way or another, I've made one that parallels it. I've made multiple that parallel.
Oh yeah,
it.
with different relationships. That's the point of the movie, is that it's cyclical. So like, you're just gonna go through the same thing again.
He's just gonna hang up all of these ideas on this woman again, and like do the same things. And I'm like, boy, and is that relevant?
Yeah, exactly. It's just a different season. Almost literal, very literal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I love it though. I mean, like I just related to the little things, like, oh, he finds out she likes that one band, so now he's gonna, when she walks by the desk, turn the Smiths up a little bit and see if it sparks a conversation, like try to force something.
I have played.
It's just I've done that
have I played
so many times where you're trying. It's almost creepy to describe it or verbalize it, but like you're just trying to kind of force an interaction, based on a commonality or something, and like. I don't know. It comes off as endearing, I think, in the movie. Sometimes, probably every time I've ever done it, it comes off as creepy.
Yeah, probably for me too. Now that I'm thinking about it in retrospect, like that's just a really creepy thing to do, orchestrate.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I guess that's what you do, like when you're still, I guess, courting or just trying to, you just find somebody that you kind of click with and you want to spend time with them or whatever. Like, especially Zoe Deschanel. Like, come on. Who wouldn't?
You seen those bangs, guys? Come on.
I don't even like bangs. I
hate bangs.
Me neither.
Fucking hate bangs.
And I don't like people that are all cute. I'm quirky.
I don't either.
I talk like this.
No,
or
I hate it.
I hate it.
For some reason with
it works
her,
for me, man. I don't know.
Because I feel like it's authentic and it's not this like she's not trying to do it.
No, that's just
at all. Yeah. It's just kind of it's just kind of coming out. Whereas anybody else, I feel like they've been they're forcing it a little bit.
Yeah. This is kind of gossipy, and we normally don't do that on this podcast, but I've heard that she's a pain in the ass.
I heard she's awful, I heard she's super awful.
That sucks.
Oh, well. Whatever. I'm just saying. It's gossip, and I admit it. It's gossip. It's probably not true, but...
She's probably awful.
I've heard it from several sources.
It's probably true.
Yeah. Anyway, the wrestler moves on.
Yeah.
But
good for it.
If you guys haven't seen 500 Days, The Wrestler's not something I'd be like... If you haven't seen it in a while, maybe go see it again, because I've seen it once and it still sticks with me.
Yeah, same here.
But 500 Days, watch that shit over and over again. Yeah, I've only seen Wrestler once. It's stuck with me because literally it's like
crazy.
You can replace him with like Randy Savage or like fucking like a Roddy Piper or whatever, and it's just that story's been told already. So I know all the beats already, with the exception of Marissa Tomei and her flawless boobs. Again,
well, and I would say that it's worth watching for that alone. So
yes, absolutely.
Marissa Tomei's boobs are great, guys. It's Aunt May, guys. Come on, like we're all fawning over her right now. Think about her, like 8 years ago with her boobs off.
Yeah,
or 10 years ago.
And it's great. And you know what?
They're out. They're not off. Her boobs aren't off.
Yeah, it's like they're
boobs
off.
Are off.
Darren Aronofsky took a weird
her clothes
turn.
are off. Her boobs are out.
It's like the one surreal element of the movie. It's like, there we go.
You're young.
You put it in there.
Guys. Come on,
Oh boy, we're gonna get definitely a bad rating from people that do not like pervs. Anyway, you know what? We're dudes who like women.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, especially in particular that woman.
But she is very attractive, and she plays a.
She's been she's been like a sex icon like for years too. Just like Jeff Goldblum's a sex icon.
Like, there's a really good chance that she has met as much to you as she has to your dad.
Probably, yeah.
There's
she's
a really good
cross-generational
chance.
babe.
Like, just the hypothetical you. I mean, I know, like, because there's a Seinfeld episode or two about how gorgeous she is. So she was like, after My Cousin Vinny, she was a total sex symbol in the 90s.
She's such a babe, and just to backpedal a little bit, she's fucking fantastic in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
She's really-
she's a
yeah.
great
Right,
actress.
everything.
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
she's super great in this movie. So go fucking watch wrestling or wrestler. It's really good.
just get a subscription to WWE Network and
Watch
there you
wrestle.
go. Watch some wrestling.
All of it.
Watch some wrestles.
Right.
All right, so the next matchup is again these two movies that have no business fighting each other. We have I Love You Man versus Moon. Yeah, what do you make of that? It makes no fucking sense at all. I Love You Moon.
I Love You Moon.
All right, so JD, you're actually first in this round.
Yeah,
Good.
so you remember last round when I was like, man, I don't see much getting in the way of I Love You Man this tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know I was going to be up against Moon.
Oh shit.
God damn. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going Moon. I'm just saying, like,
You might be saying a little bit.
it's difficult. Shit, man. I mean, I don't know. They're both really original, so I know that was why my motivation for pushing Moon through in the last round. They're both interesting concepts. Like it's a bromance comedy, which it's never we've never really had that. Like we got it in small doses in Scrubs on the small screen, but we've never had a true bromance movie.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Man, I'm gonna go Moon. Y'all figure it out. I'm sorry. Like, it's the sci-fi thing aspect of it. It's original in the genre that it's tough to be original in.
First time director, that counts.
Yeah, I mean, Legacy does too, though, for going that route. But
You don't have to think about that.
yeah, I don't know, man. Moon is special, and so is I Love You Man for sure. But I'm not doing this by a large margin at all. But I'm going to say Moon. I'm going to say Moon.
Okay, Kyle, you're actually next.
I feel
to this
bad
round.
about it.
Wow, yeah. I mean, this is probably like the greatest bromance of all time. Even though I guess Superbad got that movie, got that crown, but this one was very, different time period too. It's not like your high school bromance. This is like your late 20s, 30 something. Everybody around you getting married type.
You're out of your bromance prime.
Yeah, right. So it's like they tackle two different times and stuff. I really like I Love You Man a lot. It's wall to wall laughs, and anything with Jon Favreau just giving dead eyes to Paul Rudd's character is super hilarious to me. I loved all of that shit.
Yeah.
Just so dismissive towards him. But God, I think I got to go Moon Man.
Moon Man.
Sam Rockwell's that Moon Man. I watching it last night, I forgot how all the kind of events unfold. So as he's stumbling upon himself in the on the moon, in the rover and stuff like that, I was just I forgot how all this unfolded. This is it's so smart. And that particular clone just seemed a little more aware of all the fuckery going on. So that whenever that new Sam Rockwell character clone woke up in that movie, it just feels like he's just a little more aware of all the fuckery. And just a little more willing to ask questions and lie to get outside to check on some things. So I don't know. I really like the way that the movie kind of unfolds, and I think I'm gonna have to go.
I get that. I'm shut out. I probably would have gone with I Love You Man just because I'm a little bitch, and I don't know. It's hard for me to sway against favorites like that I've seen over and over and over and over and over again that are.
Yeah.
One of the most quotable movies of all time.
Absolutely. And what JD already mentioned about it being just one of the first ever, bromance movies where the bromance is or at least obtaining one is the plot of the movie, it's never, I can't recall one, at least in our lifetime, of one that's advertised like that. And it's just about dudes hanging out and one guy struggling to do that, and
going
I actually
on dude
honestly
dates,
understand that. I understand that to a degree. When you're in a relationship, at least I was in a couple relationships where when you're with them, you don't really hang out with your friends at all. I learned that lesson very quickly, and by the time I got you get used to hanging with your friends when you get more experience in dating and stuff. Fortunately for me, that happened in high school. I was able to finally hang out with friends at the same time as dating. But for this guy, he's just a serial monogamous to the point where it's inhibits any friendships at all with dudes. And you can see that his interactions with guys is just painfully awkward. God damn it. It's so fucking funny. Yeah, dude. Him going through that like Craigslist ad of Friends.
Oh yeah, the dude date.
Great.
Like,
Yeah. And there's like an old guy, and you have Thomas Lennon, who's hilarious in the movie.
Oh
you
my
cheated
God.
on me, you fucking whore. It's so good. You're a whore, Peter. I love that. I love the joke about chocolat too. I just saw that was on added on Netflix, and that's leaving too. Go figure.
Chocolate?
Yeah. You mean chocolate with Johnny Depp? So your example of a favorite Sunday is sitting at home with your wife and watching Chocolate. It's so good. And then there's kind of a payoff too, and he's like, I finally watched Chocolat, and it's just a delightful movie. And J.K. Simmons leans over to Andy Samberg, and he's like, the fuck is Chocolat? And Tom Lennon leans in, he hears him, he goes, it's just a beautiful movie. It's so fucking good. It's such a great payoff to that joke. Oh my God. Oh man. And I love the inclusion of Rush in this, because of all like the prog rock, like in terms of like I don't know. Kyle knows prog rock more than anybody on here probably. You Jenny, you like it too. You like Coheed and shit, so you know.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're not the biggest Coheed fan in the world.
No,
but,
no. Yeah, there's just like certain prog rock I just don't listen to. I just don't. I try, but I just
Rush is OG, man.
But like Rush is fucking great, and
Rush is like
Mars Volta
so
too.
great,
Like
man,
it's just like that's the type
Yeah.
of prog
By the way,
I like,
Rush is a huge foundation in fanboys, JD. So
it is. They are. Yeah, that's correct.
Yep.
Oh,
A lot of Rush references, a
Not
lot
as
of
big
Rush
as
love.
in this movie, but they are definitely a factor. Like they're literally in "I Love You, Man." Like they're in the
that's the only way it supersedes, because I think it's brought up just as much in Fanboys, but they're literally in "I Love You, Man." So
cool.
Oh man, it's some good shit. And learning how to let loose as a dude. When I guess this guy's just been such a serial monogamous that like he just jumps from relationship to relationship and goes in deep to where it's like forgets how to be a dude. Where he's like they're doing a jam session. I don't know. Sydney will like rip off his shirt, and Paul Rudd just like undoes like one button, and he's like, "Yeah, all right." I don't know. I just like seeing that journey. It's just
it's a good one.
Something about that is relatable. Like rediscovering
relatable.
yourself as a dude outside of your relationship. I really like that. That's probably what I would have voting for, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It's
We're in the
not,
finals,
and I
guys.
hate to, and I'm not saying this in a social justice warrior aspect or whatever, but there's nothing toxic about the masculinity of this movie.
No,
It's
I
not
agree
like
with
it's
that,
not it's not rude or anything like that. It's very it's very real. I don't know. It's real and more emotion, more on the emotion sides of being in a relationship with a dude, bro relationship, than it is like the raunchier, gross sides of it. So
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that completely about the movie. So the finals, regardless, is going to be Moon versus The Wrestler. Two very identical movies.
Shit.
Once again. Oh, I'm first. Hey, guys. What do you know?
What are we doing here?
I don't like voting anyway, so thank you.
Oh, okay, cool. So, I'm going to go ahead and go with The Wrestler. I wonder why I would have gone that way. No, but really, besides the technical shit I already mentioned about Aronofsky stretching himself, Mickey Rourke, the choice of casting him in this and him delivering... Well, I haven't seen much of his work outside of this, but him delivering one of the most memorable performances on screen and getting robbed by Sean Penn of all fucking people at the
Fuck
Oscars.
him. Fucking Sean Penn.
Even
Fuck
Sean
off.
Penn went up there and he was like, I don't know why I won this. This is yours.
Was it Mystic River?
No, it was Milk. I think it was Milk.
Oh, the Milk
my
movie.
God.
God
I
damn.
know. And that movie's good, but like, fucking come on.
Come on.
Mickey Rourke delivered like the comeback performance.
What does he have to do? Like die to win something? Like Jesus.
I know, it's just not fair. And what's crazy about casting Mickey Rourke and like the parallels between being a actor who is you could call washed up, casting him in the role of a washed up wrestler, taking like bit parts and risking his life and like bleeding out for fans for money. He's literally doing that in the movie. He's blading himself for real and stuff. And
he was really a boxer too. So I mean, like,
Yeah, so he brings that skill set in there.
He
but
knows that he knows what it's like to be fighting in an amateur league,
right.
For nothing but just the love of the sport, not for money or fame or anything. So
yeah,
he brings that in.
The movie's remarkable, man. I'm pretty sure Aronofsky said he screened it for Vince, who was very reserved about sharing his opinion on it. But I know Roddy Piper saw it and was tears in his eyes, went up to Aronofsky and said thank you. That was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen and stuff like that. Especially with the ending like that, being so, I don't know, kind of calm about, doing what he loves, being the cause of his death. And we don't see him die, but, we assume that because he continues that he does eventually not die in the ring, but die because of what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just content doing that. And there's something kind of oddly beautiful about that, too. Yeah, dude, I love that shit. I love that message, even though it's kind of a bittersweet message and not really a message you want about your profession. But
you don't want your profession to kill you, but to die doing what you love is probably worse than most deaths.
Shit, I'm gonna die, but I love it. So, that and the scene where he's in the deli just doing mundane day job work, helping people out, and then when they recognize him. Aren't you Randy the Ram and stuff like that? And then he puts his thumb in the slicer, slices his thumb, runs around, does his whole Randy the Ram gimmick where he's bleeding out and rubs blood on his face and stuff. That's just one of the most memorable scenes in the I've seen the movie once when it came out, and it still fucking haunts me, dude. I love that scene so much. In a good way, haunts me. I just love it, man. And I love Moon too.
No, you don't.
I do. I genuinely do. It is one of the most inventive sci-fi movies I think people will ever see. This and Source Code are a good 1-2 punch for Duncan Jones, even if he.
Yeah, right. It's why so many people felt so good about him going into other things. So.
Right.
God, he's gonna be perfect for World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Whoops. But yeah, I just thought he's just those two movies especially. He's just giving you sci-fi concepts and explaining them in a way that are just I don't know, just completely unheard of in that genre, in my opinion. And I might not be completely well-versed in that genre, but I've seen enough of them to know when there's a fresh idea being tackled. And he definitely does that in Moon. So if you guys vote for that over Wrestler, I'm not going to be fuck this podcast or whatever. I'm not going to be I'm not going to feel children of men. It's very earned.
Okay.
So whatever. JD, what's your vote?
Well, I had Wrestler as my number 1 too.
You did. That's right.
Number 1 as well.
That.
So I really love that movie. I really, really do. I wasn't upset about it beating 500 Days for that reason alone. So I'm going for Wrestler here.
Boy.
I think it's impactful on a way that you do not have to be a fan of wrestling to get what this movie is trying to tell you.
Yeah, not at all.
It just, and I don't watch wrestling now. I get it vicariously through our chat, and you kind of keeping us filled in on what's going on. But that's a major part of my childhood, that whole culture. So I watch a movie about stuff like that, and you're like, man, this is what my heroes as a kid were going through. Or went through at some point, or knew somebody that was going through it, or it feels like you said, like a documentary, and it's a special movie, and Tomei's titties. So there's that, and that's
damn it.
I didn't realize she.
Just saying,
did she get naked in that movie?
She did, and I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I liked it.
I liked
Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying it like a child.
But yeah, 12-year-old reasons aside, the movie is fucking fantastic, and Moon is also a really, really, really good movie. That's why it made it that far. But yeah, The Wrestler, I get it, man. I get everything that movie's putting out there, and I love it.
And that's what's awesome about it. The fact that you can just step away from wrestling and you're just kind of even from for us, and especially at this point when I was watching wrestling, this is kind of the bad years of wrestling, honestly. But when I was watching wrestling, I still didn't know this stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't know that it was that miserable.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're getting the polished, version of it.
Yeah.
You're getting the best possible product, the best possible looking version of the sport you get. But it's like anything else, man. There's a grind at any professional level of anything athletically. There is a grind, and there is probably, there are dark stories like this in across every sport. But wrestling just feels, pun not intended, I guess. It's a very raw sport. it gets a bad rap for being fake. But what
Raw's
those
War
people,
Sport.
yeah. What those people put their bodies through is fucking insane. Even the most intense professional sport we have in America, they get time off, regular time off.
They have off season, yeah.
They have an off season. This is week in and week out, and I mean, it's a ton of respect to anybody that subjects himself to that. It's insane.
I would have gone the wrestler as well. So
What?
Yay.
Wow, that blows me away.
just talking about it after.
Yeah, that's true. That's kind of
after
like
really
the point of the
just
show,
Jeff.
right?
I mean, if I was going next, I would have gone wrestler. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
dope.
so good.
Yeah, man, it makes me want to kind of watch it again, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm good. You know what I mean? Because
To me, that's
there's a lot
really
of
impressive.
depressing, very real layers to that movie that it's just kind of like I'm not ready to re-experience that again, I guess.
Normally, even movies I love, I have to have that second view to really get everything burned in.
Yeah.
And like the meat cutting, or the cutting the thumb while he's behind the meat counter thing.
Right, yeah.
I forgot about that part when I watched it a second time a couple years ago. So like not everything stuck with me that first view, and I was glad I revisited it.
I recall very vividly the stuff with his daughter too, Evan Rachel Wood. Dorothy, Dolores.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dolores.
Dolores.
Yeah. Because
you left me, Papa.
Jake Roberts had that exact thing happen to him, and the documentary crew was following him around at the time, and it was like this, it went down the same fucking way. Like his daughter wouldn't take his calls and stuff like that. So like that stuff is very much copy and pasted from Jake Roberts' life. Especially because it's Randy the Ram Robinson. It's not too different from Jake the Snake Roberts entirely. A lot of stuff was very similar, except with the exception of I don't think there was any substance abuse as much. I mean, steroids, yes, but because everybody was doing it in the movie. And that's just the truth of the industry, especially if you're outside of a corporation like WWE.
I would even say in most professional industries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's just the truth of it. They're just doing it like out in the open in a locker room. Nobody gives a shit. But in terms of the way Jake Roberts was doing a ton of substance abuse, I can't recall Randy the Ram doing that in the movie. Like if he was like doing coke all the time or.
I mean, he's a drinker. You see him drink a lot.
Right, he does drink. I can't recall if he was doing hard drugs or not, but I know Jake was.
I think there's like one or two scenes where he might be doing something. I'd have to.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, honestly.
I'd have to brush up on that.
Yeah. But I know he borrowed a lot from the Jake Roberts story, which is sad. But hey, if you want an uplifting version of that, you can just watch the Resurrection of Jake the Snake, the documentary about him, recovering, being sober and stuff like that with Diamond Dallas Page and stuff. And that's a great documentary. You'll get some tears out of that one. That one's really good.
Yeah.
So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, basically. You can turn a corner and just suddenly start living for yourself. It's not all death and despair like the end of the movie kind of suggests.
Right.
Anyway, that's a great winner. I agree with this choice, guys, because I voted for it.
I'm already regretting my choice. So.
Oh, okay. Cool. Good. That's the goal that we want to accomplish. Make Kyle.
This movie's not even from this year. Fuck this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Doesn't even count. I don't know what we're doing next.
Asterisk next to this winner.
We're probably going to aim to get rid of our annual stuff first, so probably do 1999 movies or 2009 games next or something like that we do annually anyway, just because of my limited free time with us trying to get together. We just want to get shit out of the way that we normally do, just in case there's no other time to do it. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Go check us out on Twitter at EoC Pod and on SoundCloud and fucking iTunes or Apple Podcasts or whatever the fuck the kids call it these days. And if you're finished, why are you still listening? We already told you.
How do you have the capability to listen?
Yeah,
Finland?
You don't even have internet. You write everything on Quill and by Quill and fucking send it by Raven.
Absolutely.
A three-eyed raven.
Yeah, there you go. Ooh, Game of Thrones tonight. Oh my god.
6 hours away. Just a little insider. 6 hours away from when we're recording this. Woo!
Woo!
Yeah,
that's a Battle of Winterfell.
Everybody we love is about to die.
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody's
so
dying.
Oh my god.
You're dying. It's like Oprah handing out deaths, basically.
Killed.
Yeah, I'm very nervous.
I'm nervous and excited, and I'm probably going to mute the chat or something. No, you guys can talk about it, obviously, on your own, but...
Are you not going to be able to watch it till you...
No, I'm going to have to watch it after I wake up, because,
Keep the chat in our own chat then until you...
Yeah, we can do private chat.
Yeah, it's definitely like the first thing I'm fucking doing, though. It's like I'm watching that.
We'll keep all spoilers private.
You just chime in.
You just let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll react with you.
You wake up and you
tell me.
grab that video and you tell us.
You play that video and then you take your opinion and bring it to us.
Oh shit! So brilliant, so brilliantly dumb is what I mean. But yeah, stay tuned for more of that shit. You can. I already told you where to find us. So does anybody else have anything to promote before we leave or whatever?
Subculture is doing some sort of Game of Thrones Master Debater episode, so definitely stay tuned for that.
Man, you're super educated on that.
Yeah, I'm still gonna lose
Kimmy
because
will listen to you because she's as educated as you are. So
we'll see. We'll see. I do really poorly on that show, so
I don't think you've won a lot in the past few. Like you went into the last one as like champion until they unfairly.
I was champion of the whole year, yeah, of course, because I do win a lot. Yeah, but I'm gonna win next year. It'll be good.
Yeah, it's a good podcast. I enjoy it thoroughly.
Have a fun time. It's hard. All of us getting together. Mike's got kids. Has a kid.
And
everyone's always doing stuff. Colby's always on the road. Like he's always doing stuff, and he works. He's got a good gig and stuff like that. And Kimmy and I are just workhorses. We work constantly, so it's just. Yeah, it's fun though. It's us. Yeah. We get together as often as we can. That's the same with us. You know, we get together just as whenever we can. There's no consistency to it. So.
Well, then I get it. Then yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, JD, do you have butt plugs to give?
No butt plugs this time. I've got really nothing going on. So.
All right.
I actually, JD, always preach a high fiber diet if you want a good butt plug. So.
Well, that's a good way to get a butt plug to go flying. If you got a literal butt plug and you.
Well, no, but like it's a plug, like a fact about butts.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, we should make that a recurring thing. That's a good joke.
Yeah.
Because it's plugs.
Well, you grab that plug and you tell audience
him
or whatever. Anyway, so stay tuned.
Everyone's already over that joke.
Oh my god, we're never gonna stop doing it. But thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you later when there's
Later's
a new
on the
episode.
Minjay.
I'll catch you later on the Minjay in like 5 years when there's a new episode. Later.